I never really thought in my life that the Royal Rumble match could make me feel as emotional as it did tonight. Not once, but twice. What do you think, gentlemen?
Oh, absolutely. This was a very fun pay-per-view. Not a perfect pay-per-view, but I think the Royal Rumble matches did their job. And when we get to it in the men's Rumble match, there was a point where I had one of those moments where I was just like, this is why I love wrestling. And tonight was definitely one of those, this is why I love wrestling kind of shows.
Absolutely. Kris, I'm so happy to have you back on again since, I think, TLC, yeah? That was the last time you were on?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. And you've been telling me, like, all week, like, all month practically, that the Royal Rumble is your favorite pay-per-view, like, of them all.
It is, because it showcases the most amount of talent. There's 30 entries in both the women's and the men's Royal Rumble. It showcases most of the locker room. The women's Royal Rumble itself, being there aren't that many women on the main roster, they got a pull from NXT and showcase them, which is great for the NXT talent. I'm a little surprised there was only one NXT talent in the men's Rumble.
Yeah.
But
technically, because that said NXT roster member is going to the main roster.
Yep.
And they were supposed to have his main roster debut a little sooner than this, but it got pushed back. So good on WWE for keeping the men's Royal Rumble very, Raw and SmackDown. A lot of mainly Raw and SmackDown talent. I actually, now that you bring that up, I really did appreciate that.
Yeah.
And with the women's as well, as we'll get into, we have those people in the match that we don't see on a regular basis, but they come back for the Royal Rumble match. Like, just to get into a spoiler, like Tori Wilson, like she doesn't wrestle anymore, but she comes back every year for the Rumble. And it's really nice to see her, especially after hearing her life story.
Yeah, she did appear in the Women's Royal Rumble, sure enough, tonight, and we're going to get into all 60 entries on this very podcast. I'm so excited to do this with you, gentlemen. I hope you all watching this show are excited as we are. If you're new here, welcome. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. We do wrestling podcasts every single month over here on the channel. We're talking main roster pay-per-views, retro pay-per-views. We're talking NXT. It's all over here. So definitely click that big red button. We are on the road to 500 subscribers and counting. And
hell yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. It really does mean
and
the world.
Before we get our heads bitten off, yes, we show some love to AEW too. We're not WWE fanboys.
Yes.
We love AEW.
Yeah.
We love pro wrestling on this channel.
Clearly, we love AEW also. Thank you for reminding me. And if you enjoy this by the end, definitely consider leaving us a thumbs up also. We would genuinely appreciate that as well. But gentlemen, before we get into the main show, we did have a couple of noteworthy segments to happen on the Kickoff show. R-Truth is walking around with the 24/7 championship, and he's talking about the Bad Bunny performance that's happening, and he cuts a vicious shoot promo on Bugs Bunny and how much Space Jam sucks.
That was my favorite part.
I agree with him.
Great.
Not to go on a movie rant, but I agree with him. I agree with him.
R-Truth just became the biggest heel in the business by bashing Space Jam. I'm sorry. I love that film. It's great. I'm excited for the sequel.
That's another discussion for another time.
Wait, hold on. For those who weren't paying attention, I was too enticed by the Bugs Bunny stuff. I didn't pay attention to the Space Jam thing. What was the Space Jam comment?
I don't even remember what the exact quote was, but all I heard was Space Jam as he was shooting on Bugs Bunny. And I'm like, you better not touch that treasure. You better not.
Dude.
I swear. I
was laughing so hard from his Bugs Bunny bit that I didn't even hear the Space Jam bit.
And the pre-show panel made a very good point. Every single pay-per-view, R-Truth has to go over there and fuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that until tonight. And I love it. And I hope it continues.
I'm pretty sure they don't tell the panel what he's going to say, because they all broke as soon as he said Bugs Bunny. Like, as soon as they started to explain the Elmer Fudd Bugs Bunny rabbit season bit, like, they all started breaking. R-Truth even broke. Like, you could see it. They were all giggling. They couldn't get through the bit. It was hilarious.
They absolutely broke, and I broke as well. I was like, man, I'm really stressed out right now thinking about something else, but you are distracting me right now, R-Truth. So thank you for that, at least. But also on the kickoff, we do have a women's tag team championship contest between Asuka and Charlotte Flair against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, which was the exact same contest from TLC. That's all I'm going to say.
I would say the TLC match was better. I really did not care for the Royal Rumble match. As they pointed out before the match, Asuka and Charlotte Flair are both in totally separate storylines, and they just now remembered that they're the tag team champions. So to pretty much jump the gun, I should be mad that they dropped the titles back to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, but I really don't care because they obviously have other things for Charlotte and Asuka to do that have nothing to do with the tag team titles. So their reign was kind of pointless at this point. It was a match for me. I honestly did like the TLC match better because it was the first time we saw Charlotte in months, and it was kind of a surprise, and they kind of did more with it. But for this match, it was just, they could have done this match on Raw.
At least it had that going for it at TLC. Yeah, I honestly wasn't even really paying attention to this match much because my mind was elsewhere. It was stressing out about something that was going to happen on the opening of the show. But anyway, I will say this. I do think this match had a creative finish with Ric Flair coming out and Lacey Evans with the woman's right and the brass knuckles. That's pretty much what happened. Charlotte has Shayna in the figure 8, and Lacey had something on her hand, assuming it's brass knucks, but she hits Charlotte with the woman's right, knocks her out, and then Nia is tagged in, and she hits a shitty leg drop on Charlotte for the 3 count. And I was
they didn't need to do the leg drop for the finish. Also, Asuka was down a lot longer than she needed to be. It just looked like that WWE just wanted to get these damn titles off of Charlotte and Asuka. Because, in my opinion, Charlotte and Asuka are in way more interesting storylines right now, and they don't need the tag team titles. Charlotte's doing this thing with Lacey Evans, which I actually like, and Asuka is feuding with Alexa Bliss, which I'm very much liking right now. Bliss is the best thing on Monday Night Raw right now. And I don't need the tag team titles kind of holding them down. Like, whatever they're going to do into WrestleMania, I want to see that go into motion now. And I don't care about the women's tag team titles. Good for Baszler and Jax. They can hold them for another 6 months if they want. Like, I really don't care.
Yeah. Chris?
Okay, well, you and I were discussing this earlier, Zach, but I'm not surprised how the match played out. I'm not surprised at the story they told and what happened and the finish. I'm salty. I'm very salty that they put not only Charlotte, but also Asuka, the Raw Women's fucking champion, on the kickoff. No champion should be on the kickoff, period. That is for rookies and mid-carders trying to, get into the title picture, build momentum. That's what the kickoff should be for. Not a title match, ever. And you should not have the women's champion from, no. Asuka, Charlotte, even Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, too much star power, too many champions to be on the freaking kickoff. No,
That's a very good point.
I did not appreciate that for them.
Yeah. They could have had this match on the main show and did like a Royal Rumble last minute qualifier match that Ricochet could have won. Because remember, Ricochet was told on Raw that you just can't be in the Royal Rumble match. You need to be AJ Styles.
And then he was
still in the Royal Rumble match.
He lasts 15 minutes in the Rumble match. And I'm like, didn't you just lose to AJ and you failed to qualify?
So you do make a very good point there. But, with WWE and these 2 Rumble matches, and I'm not shitting on Bad Bunny because when we talk about his segment, I have actually a lot of nice things to say about it. And with Bad Bunny's performance, unfortunately, it was either this or the SmackDown Women's Championship match that had to be on the kickoff show.
You know what I've noticed?
What?
How long has it been since we've had a 205 live match on any pay-per-view?
Because
a
205
long
Live
time.
is affiliated with NXT now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Fair point. Fair
Yeah.
point.
But I mean, they did change it to the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, to my understanding, last I checked.
Oh, I
Yes,
didn't know
and
that.
I
Okay.
can confirm that. It is basically an extension of NXT now. They're
Yeah.
even putting Dusty Women's Classic Tag Team matches on 205 Live right now. So
Interesting.
205 Live is no longer its own entity. It's an extension of NXT.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. But
Okay, speaking as a cruiserweight, that's rude.
I know.
That's
It's
Yeah,
just
but especially right
this
now
create-
with no live crowds, they're not I feel like they have no point on keeping it after SmackDown. They're just like, you know what? The NXT and the 205 Live guys ride with each other anyway. They might as well can attend NXT. It's basically the NXT pre-show.
Yeah,
Sure.
for sure. Apologies if there's any internet connection issues, my friends, but we're just gonna have to keep trudging along in this podcast. But as far as this match goes, I mean, 2.5 stars. It existed. I don't know what the hell was wrong with not giving Shayna Baszler a pinfall, because I think she is much more talented than Nia Jax.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But
2 stars for me. I liked it because it gets Asuka and Charlotte away from the tag team titles and they can get back to their much more interesting feuds. And we have a tag team on Raw and a tag team on SmackDown that could benefit from the tag team titles a lot more than Charlotte and Asuka. I'm talking about Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. I'm talking about the Riot Squad.
yeah,
Use your women's talent. Don't
don't
Charlotte
just,
and Asuka have their own problems on Raw that
Yeah.
are much more interesting.
don't just put them in
Yeah,
catering.
Yeah.
No. If you're gonna have women's tag titles, make a women's tag division and actually have tag matches like old
Rose and Brooke may be a random team, but at least they're a good random team. And the Riot Squad are a damn good team. Let's
Okay.
use them.
Yes,
Yeah.
Riot Squad is a team. They're making Dana and Mandy Rose a team. I like this. I like Team Soccer Mom. It's a thing. I like it. But don't throw Shayna and Nia, who are better as singles competitors. Don't throw Asuka and Charlotte, literally Asuka and Charlotte, your
Yeah.
top singles competitors in the women's division. Let's put them together as a team. Why not?
Yeah,
What's the worst
Yeah,
that could
wait.
happen?
right after
Wait until
Kyrie.
this summer on SmackDown when Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch become the women's tag team champions. It's like
God.
doing that.
God, I'm
What
dreading that.
What they should do after the women's Dusty, they should bump some of the teams up as
Yeah.
teams.
Have that be the
I don't know about Shotzi and Blackheart or Shotzi and Ember Moon, but like there are other teams that are like teams in that classic.
have the
Yeah.
winners of
Oh,
the have the winners of the women's Dusty Cup just challenge for the women's tag team titles at like I don't know, like put them on like Fastlane or something. I don't know. like I don't know.
Absolutely. Or the
Like-
WrestleMania kickoff show. That's where you could do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yep. Put something on the line there aside from a big old trophy. But yeah, like I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, I was not really paying a whole lot of attention to the kickoff show match because my emotions were centered around the opening contest of the main card for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre, the face of the promotion, versus Dadberg. Dad, some like I don't know, but
Okay. Before we get into the match.
At this point, it's like Popsburg. He's getting into the grandpa territory.
54
So-
years old.
we were all terrified. I think I can speak for all 3 of us that we were all terrified going into this match because we know how the WWE books Goldberg. Ever
Yep.
since he came back in 2016, they think the World Championship is a good thing to put on Goldberg right now. He
It's
beat
not.
Kevin Owens. He beat The Fiend. The most popular
Don't talk about that.
superstar
No.
in 2019. He took that title off of The Fiend. And going into this Royal Rumble, we were all scared because we thought the first thing that popped in all of our minds is Drew McIntyre is losing the title. Goldberg's going to WrestleMania as WWE champion. He's never won the WWE championship before. And, you know, I feel like we were all just terrified of the outcome of this match, even though none of us want that. Nobody in 2021 wants Goldberg to be the world champion. With that being said, I will say this match did two things that were good. Number one, it got us talking. It got us talking as fans.
It did.
And the one thing that WWE likes, whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, they like publicity. And they want the fans to talk. And this match sure as hell got us talking. And I will say the presentation of this match, it felt like a big fight feel. Regardless of how you feel about Goldberg, he is a big star. He is, what have we seen from the past few years? All of his matches are no longer than 5 minutes.
Because
he has that Brock Lesnar mystique.
That's all he can do.
That we are, yeah, we're still curious. We're not, you know, we're not taking a shit during his matches. We're not going to the merch stand during his matches. We're not getting a hot dog during his matches. Either our eyes are glued to the screen or our butts are in the seat when Goldberg's having a match nowadays, because we want to know what's going to happen. And I will say, at least WWE did a good job presenting this match. It's still not a good idea to put him over nowadays, but they did a good job making us talk.
I 100% agree. Those people that follow me on Twitter certainly know that I had my doubts about this match as well, but those doubts are in the back of my mind. All right. I looked across the ring from Goldberg and I saw Drew McIntyre, the freaking face of the promotion, who, mind you, just made a successful recovery from the very disease that's putting a headlock on our world right now. And Drew recovered from it. And last Monday on Raw, he also dedicated this match to all the COVID victims. So if Drew lost this match, like, that's like saying, go back to 2006. Rey Mysterio dedicated his appearance in the Royal Rumble match to his lost brethren, Eddie Guerrero. Imagine if Rey Mysterio lost the 2006 Royal Rumble. That's pretty much the equivalent of what would have happened if Drew lost here. This was the only possible outcome I could see. I mean, again, don't get me wrong.
And here's the thing. Like I said, I 100% agree with you. But just, I know we all know, this is WWE we're talking. This is Vince McMahon we're talking. He still thinks meatheads sell. So that's why I was scared, thinking Goldberg's going to win this championship, because for whatever reason, Vince still sees money in Goldberg. And you know what? There may still be money in Goldberg.
You want to know what my first
very
note?
Few tickets they can.
Sorry, you want to know what my first note was? Please, please don't fuck this up, Vince. Because that's really, you know, that's all that was going through my mind right now.
You know what? Before we get into the play-by-play of this match, because it's very short, please don't fuck this up. They halfway didn't fuck it up.
You know, I think this is going to be, in hindsight, this might be a hot take. I think this was Goldberg's best match in the WWE since WrestleMania 33, since his match with Brock. I feel like I can go back. I want to go back and rewatch this match now that my stress is alleviated a lot, but they did a lot in those 5 minutes. Goldberg hits a spear on Drew through the barricade, and once that happened, I was like, oh shit, Goldberg's just gonna, but Drew kicks out of the jackhammer. Goldberg hit the spear and the
one
jackhammer.
Thing that we've come to expect from Goldberg matches is that something happens right at the beginning. Even with this match at Dolph Ziggler's match, McIntyre immediately hit the Glasgow Kiss. And then he immediately went for a Claymore, and he missed the Claymore, and then he ate a spear, and that's when I started getting very nervous. And then they went to the outside, and then the announcer said, the bell never rung. And I was like, oh shit, the bell did never ring. What's going to happen now? And that's when Goldberg spears McIntyre to the barricade, and I got scared. I got very scared. I said, he's going to throw his ass back in the ring. He's going to spear him again. He's going to jackhammer him. This is their way of protecting McIntyre so he doesn't look that bad in defeat. And I was terrified at this point.
But thankfully, as I mentioned, Drew did kick out of the jackhammer, and I believe he hit 2 Claymore kicks on Goldberg. 1, 2, 3. And I breathed, I think, the biggest sigh of relief over this past year in WWE when that 3 count.
Oh, I yelled and I high-fived Brittany, and I was so freaking happy.
Thank God Drew McIntyre is still the WWE champion. And I mean, chivalrous handshake and embrace after the match. Drew's the fucking man, dude. I don't know about you guys.
The match was what it was. Did I enjoy it? I think I was too nervous to enjoy it. I wouldn't say I liked it more than Lesnar Goldberg.
Well, I'm gonna go back and watch both of them again to really form a solid opinion on that. But
looking at it just from there, it wasn't perfect. Goldberg did not deliver that jackhammer very well. So, for considering what the match was, I'm gonna give it a 2.
I gave it 2 3/4. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like, you know, this was not going to be a 5-star match, obviously, but it was exactly what it needed to be. It's interesting you mentioned the jackhammer, though, because Kris was mentioning something, and I'll let you talk about it a little bit, about that jackhammer not looking so good, but I thought it was fine.
Oh, yes. I remember now. Okay, yes. So we were discussing about how Goldberg's jackhammers haven't been quite up to par, and that's partially him getting up there in age, partially muscle. Like, I don't know if he's losing muscle. I don't know what his workout regimen is nowadays, but obviously the muscles aren't as powerful as they used to be, aren't keeping up with it. But it also is your opponent. So we discussed how the jackhammer on The Fiend was different than the jackhammer on Drew tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the size of your opponent. Sure, The Fiend is heavy, yes, but he's shorter than Goldberg. So Goldberg, when your opponent's shorter than you, give or take the weight differentiation, that's a word?
Yeah.
It's a word now. We just invented it.
Given the difference in weight between shorter opponents, if most of the time you're going to have an easier time working with a opponent that's shorter than you or smaller than you. Drew, I think he's slightly heavier than Goldberg, and he's taller than Goldberg. So
Yes.
Goldberg had to really get him up there. So I think that's partially why. And also the age and the muscle density and how strong he actually is right now. So those are all factors of why the jackhammer would not be as clean as we've known from years past.
Yeah, I agree, man.
I don't want to sound harsh against Goldberg, and I guess I'll say this now. I respect Goldberg for who he is. I appreciate everything he's done in the business, and I respect his comeback. But taking all that into consideration, I think Goldberg needs to retire now before he embarrasses himself again. And that's a hot take.
On that note, I feel like this match might have. I don't know. They took a lot of time in that ending after the match with the handshake. This title has eluded Goldberg his entire career. He puts McIntyre over clean.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're getting close to a Goldberg retirement.
Yeah, I mean, give the man
I
credit.
don't think this is his last match. I do think he's going to be at WrestleMania. There's no way Goldberg just randomly came back in January and just going to work the Rumble. And then, WrestleMania around the corner, not going to be there. I do think he's going to be at Mania. But I think WWE cannot do this thing with the world title anymore.
No.
I mean, have some squash matches. Zack brought up a very good idea. Throw him in there with Sami Zayn at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing with The Miz. Throw him in there with a little chicken shit heel that he can, make all the fans happy, make everybody cheer, give Goldberg the pop that I think he deserved, like at SummerSlam.
Corbin's it. Corbin's it.
Corbin, Miz, a Sami Zayn. Do what he did at SummerSlam with Dolph Ziggler.
Yep. Yeah.
But no more of this main event world title stuff. It's not making him look good.
At least give Goldberg credit where it's due, because he did put Drew McIntyre over out the door, as he should have. And Drew is going into WrestleMania in Raymond James Stadium, where last year was supposed to be held, obviously. He's walking in as the champion, and he's going to get that pop that he so deserves. guaranteed WWE champion, basically. I mean, we got 2 more pay-per-views in between.
I was going to say, do a stupid match at Fastlane, and then obviously either he retains that Elimination Chamber or he's not even in the Elimination Chamber.
I don't think
considering
so,
who the Royal Rumble winner chooses.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, I don't know, because they've done a lot of number 1 contender elimination matches over the past few years. I think the title might be up for grabs this time. They haven't had a championship elimination chamber in a while.
Yeah, considering who won the Royal Rumble, and considering what title they may go for, it just depends on what title they go for. Because we still got the Universal Championship to think of. Whoever this Royal Rumble winner does not pick, that show will probably have to have an Elimination Chamber match to determine their opponent for WrestleMania.
I agree for sure. But not to spend all night on this match, obviously, because we still got 2 stinking Rumble matches to go through. But that was exactly what it should have been. And now I could enjoy the show from this point. I could rest easy. Next up is the SmackDown Women's Championship match, another rematch from TLC. Sasha Banks defending against Carmella, who is accompanied by the MVP of this entire feud, Reginald the Sommelier. I love this guy.
Before I praise the hell out of Reggie, who is my favorite wrestler of the year, and who is my favorite wrestler ever, he should have been in the Royal Rumble, and he needs to face Roman Reigns for the Universal title and beat him. Without that being said, this match was exactly the same thing at TLC. I really don't know why it was on this show. It was fine. Again, Carmella and Sasha Banks have very good chemistry, and I very much enjoyed this match, but why did it need to be here?
This match, you know what this needed was a stipulation. I pitched that they should go at it in a submission match because it kind of writes itself, Banks statement versus Code of Silence, but just another regular match, you know?
I also feel like this time around, they did not dedicate any time to building this story on SmackDown, that a pay-per-view rematch just kind of didn't fit in the realms of this pay-per-view. I understand that they needed one more match. It's kind of like a break in between the Rumbles and the other world title match that we had. But again, this was fine, but I don't know. It's weird. I enjoyed this match, but at the same time, it didn't do anything for me. Except Reggie. He is the best thing in this match.
But halfway through the match, Reginald was ejected for helping Sasha Banks, which was bullshit. He didn't do anything to Sasha. And the ref just was like, oh, Sasha gives you a Hurricane Rana? That's it. You're out of here. And I'm like...
Before we get into the finish, which was basically the same exact thing from TLC, I'm going to praise Reginald for a minute. This guy is fantastic. As we saw on SmackDown, he wrestled Sasha Banks. He's athletic as hell. He knows how to bump. He's putting in work. And you know what? I want to see him wrestle women for real. I know WWE won't do that, but I want to see him have an actual match with one of the ladies.
He's like,
and I will go into another aspect of him when we get into one of the Rumble matches.
He's like James Ellsworth, but better.
No, don't you even compare James Ellsworth to Reginald. First of all, Reginald's not.
He's with Carmella. He's with Carmella. I have to compare him to James Ellsworth now.
First off, Reginald's not a pedophile. Second of all, Reginald can actually work. Unlike that chinless loser Ellsworth.
Good point. Ooh. Good point. Yeah. We're not going to talk about him anymore then.
This match, I give it 2 3/4. That extra quarter goes to Reginald.
Harsh.
It was a fine match, but like I said, it was exact same thing from TLC.
I gave it.
Sasha Banks wins, by the way, with the Banks statement.
Yeah. Kris, before I get into my thoughts, what did you think of this match?
I'm gonna give it like a 2.5.
Of course.
Of course. I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm not a fan of either participant.
Yeah.
I don't. We went into detail with this at TLC.
More of the same. More of the same.
As it has been said before, pretty much same match from TLC, and I was not enthused with that one at either. Reginald, all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Dear God, he's He's so entertaining. I don't understand why. I'm so happy they threw him into this. I hope they keep him around after they split him with Carmella. He's very
Which I really hope is
entertaining.
not for a while.
No. I think he should probably, if anything, he should win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But
He's gonna get involved with the women's battle royal, that's for sure. If he's gonna stick around
no.
Carmella
He'll win the women's battle royal.
Oh yeah.
I wanted him to get involved with the Royal Rumble. I like the way they were milking Carmella's entrance. I was like, she's gonna get taken out, and he's gonna like take her spot.
Oh
I was
yeah,
so
I was
salty they
waiting to
didn't do
talk
it.
about that.
They had
it happened in the Rumble match.
They had other surprise entrants that took those reigns, but I mean, yeah, same old. But Sasha Banks is wonderful, as we all know. But I just got to take a second, because say what you want about her personally, but I think Carmella's in-ring work has improved leaps and bounds since this feud with Sasha started. Like,
oh, absolutely. And I've always been the first one to come out and say, as a wrestler, Carmella is extremely underrated, and she deserves a lot more credit than she gets. And I know she's been one of those women that's just like, oh, she was never a wrestler. She was just an NBA dancer. She can't work. Well, she proved everyone wrong.
Yeah,
and I think she's a fantastic wrestler.
And she's finally gotten rid of the gimmick that's been, like, you know, tainted by Enzo and Big Cass. So, I mean, I'm glad she's got a new look on the roster, or on the main roster, rather. I mean, this match, I gave it a 3. I liked it. Not as good as the TLC match, in my opinion, but because, again, just more of the same. But
yeah,
we had to get through all this, and also the damn Bad Bunny performance with Booker T just standing there like a freaking Terminator. Also known as yours and my piss break.
No. First of all, I like Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is a huge wrestling fan, so I'm glad he was here tonight. I didn't mind it. And we will talk more about Bad Bunny a little later. But let's just say he did a song. If you didn't like it, like I said, go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
When we were at WrestleMania in 2015, when Kidding started performing, I went to the bathroom.
It was funny. It's funny because, like, on my old phone when we were there, I was actually filming people leaving during the Kid Ink performance, and I was yelling at people like, "Where's everybody going?
Yeah.
Why are you leaving?"
Skylar Grey started singing. I went to the bathroom. I came back from the bathroom. They're doing the women's tag team match, and then my family gets up and goes to the bathroom. I was like, wait, no, I actually want to watch this match. Where are you guys going?
Yeah.
It's Paige and AJ. We're good.
Speaking of WrestleMania, here we are, gentlemen. The Women's Royal Rumble match, the first of 2 on the night. Of course, every 90 seconds, new people come in. You guys all know the rules. Thankfully, the 90
seconds.
They're all bullshit. They're all bullshit.
I really wish that one year WWE will book the women's main Rumble match to go on last. Well, because they deserve it.
They did do that the first time.
I know, but only the first time. And I wish they would take turns. And I understand, considering what happened tonight, the men needed to go on last. But I wish the women would get that main event spot for the Rumble more than once.
Yes. Yeah.
Because considering who won tonight, it would have been nice to see them go on last.
Yeah. It was I don't know, man. I think both Rumbles definitely felt very similar in terms of, like, there's definitely some parallels there, and we'll certainly get into that. But before we do, I do have to praise Kris, who I think might be the MVP of this podcast. So all due respect, Tomas, because he wrote down every single entry and everyone they eliminated, and like how many people they eliminated. Like, you know, Kris, thank you for doing that, because like we might be going through this and I'll just forget, but you'll have it all right there. But anyway,
so number 1 was Bayley, which I thought was interesting.
Fitting.
Yeah, Bayley being number 1 was very interesting. And the minute she came out, I think I texted you and I turned to Brittany and I said, Bayley's going to go very, very long in this match. She's the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
She's a big star on SmackDown. I say the second biggest star on SmackDown. And whoever is number 1 and number 2 nowadays, you know they're going to go the distance. So I knew Bayley was going to go very far.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Number 2 was the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair.
I agree with Tomas.
No.
In like the last 5 Rumbles, spots 1 and 2 always make it to at least the early 20s.
Yeah.
Which I like because it shows how physically demanding the Royal Rumble match is. And if you just eliminate them 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, well, there was no point in that.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely the endurance spots.
It's the exact opposite of having number 30. If you're number 30, they always say, oh, you don't have to work that hard. If you're number 1 or number 2, you have to work extra hard.
Yeah.
And that's what Bayley and Bianca Belair had to do in this match.
Well, actually,
and Bianca Belair, she's getting built up like crazy in this match.
Hold on. Sorry, Tomas. I stand corrected because number 2 is actually the returning Naomi, who I was very happy to see.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Belair.
This is why y'all have it written down and I don't.
It's all good. It's all good. Belair did come out at number 3 though, so she did last a really, really long time. I was like, this is everybody's odds-on favorite to win the match. I think it's Audrey's coming out at number 3.
Naomi, I was expecting her. Not so early, but I was expecting her, but it's nice to see her. And now that she's back, I want to see what show she's going to go to. Because remember, she's married to Jimmy, correct? Jimmy Uso?
Yeah.
And considering their storyline, if she goes to Raw, you think Jimmy's going to go with her. So I'm curious to see, because technically she's on Raw, but they may just move her back to SmackDown because, you know, that's where the Usos are. But
yes.
Yeah, that was just a random thought I had when I saw Naomi.
I understand this logic. I see where you're coming from. She was originally on Raw, but I had not to be mean to Naomi, but like, when was the last time we saw her? Like Rumble season last year and a few weeks after that.
She was in the.
She keeps getting injured. She keeps getting injured.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, you know. It's like, if you're injury prone, it's like it's tough. It's tough. But I was definitely very happy to see her. But those 3 go a long time. But out comes number 4, Billie Kay, and I lost it with her gimmick.
I love her.
Yeah.
Take a minute to praise her for a minute. So on SmackDown, looks like she has one of those stupid gimmicks that could easily be the end of anyone's career. She is so naturally funny that she makes it work. And I look forward to seeing her on SmackDown every week because she's like a female R-Truth. She's funny. She is genuinely funny. And that's so hard to find in pro wrestling nowadays.
Yeah, I just wanted her to hand out resumes for at least the first half of the Rumble. Like, it was like the first third.
I turn to my girlfriend and I say, why is she handing out resumes and headshots? She works there. She doesn't need to apply for a job. She works there.
Don't question the gimmick.
don't question the gimmick.
Okay, so I have to be honest. I'm really happy for Billie Kay right now because, like, when the Iconics split up, when they were forced to split up,
which I'm still mad about.
Let's be honest. Everyone thought Billie Kay was going to be the one getting thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
But she has taken this gimmick and turned it into her own. She's super popular right now, and I've barely heard about Peyton Royce.
Yeah. You know, I was half expecting her to hand out resumes until Peyton Royce comes out, but I'm sure we'll get into who she actually...
But she did something almost as good, if not better. She went to commentary, and she said, I'm going to find a partner. I'm going to wait until every single person comes out in the Rumble, and I'm going to find a partner, and I'm not getting into that ring until I have a partner. So she does that. Next out is Shotzi Blackheart.
Yes.
So happy to see Shotzi Blackheart.
Me too.
California represent.
She
comes out in the tank, which is fucking awesome. And Billie Kay tries to recruit her, and she shoots the ball at her. And I'm just like, this is NXT brought to the main roster correctly. Like, I'm so ready for Shotzi Blackheart to come to the main roster because I feel like, I know this is being very optimistic, but I feel like they will do her justice. And I feel like she's someone that will fit very well on Raw or SmackDown. So don't fuck it up, WWE. I know she's not going yet, but don't fuck it up.
They tossed Shotzi out first, though. I wrote that down, and I was like, Shotzi out first? Bullshit.
Well,
I
I'm just talking about her gimmick and her presentation in general. This is just a taste of what we're going to get.
Who tossed Shotzi, Kris? Do you know? Was it
Baszler.
It was Baszler. Yes, Baszler does come out at number 6, who dominated this match.
And again, Billy Kay throws Billy Kay, punches Billy Kay's headshot, which rude, first of all, and then throws her to the side and runs into the match.
I love that. Number 7 is Toni Storm. She just
real quick,
brushes her
as
off.
an actor, you do not touch someone else's headshot.
No.
Yeah,
nobody.
All actors here.
Nobody touched that headshot. But number 8 in the year 2021 is Jillian Hall. I was not expecting that at all. Like,
I forgot she existed. When I heard that nasally ass voice, it all started coming back. And I go, oh no, not her. It's Jillian. And she looks the same, and she sounds the same. And you know what? I was giddy with nostalgia.
She wrestles the same. Like, her and Billy Kay, though. I mean,
Dude, oh my God. I was so... Billy and Jilly is my new favorite fucking thing.
Right after...
And here's the thing about Jillian Hall. She was one of those people in WWE that had a shitty gimmick, and unfortunately, they died with their shitty gimmick.
Yeah.
And you think that WWE would forget about it, but no, they brought her back with the shitty gimmick.
Yeah. So Billy enters the ring with Jillian just in time for number 9, Ruby Riott, to come out, who Billy Kay has had some stuff with. Number 10 is Victoria. I popped huge for that.
Oh, it was so nice to see Victoria.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean with the Women's Royal Rumble. You forget about all these women. And that's when I started saying, these are women that I grew up watching wrestling. And, you know, say what you want about Jillian Hall. She's just a stupid gimmick. And then you see Victoria, and you see someone like a Tori Wilson, and you're just like, that's what I like about the Women's Royal Rumble.
Like a Mickey
really brings
James.
back the nostalgia.
Like a Mickey James.
It really brings back the nostalgia. And it was like, oh, I remember her. Oh, I remember her. I definitely remember her. It's nice. It's more of a nostalgia trip than the Men's Royal Rumble is, to be perfectly honest.
Yes. So we go through kind of a gallery of, you know, people who are just running in. Number 11 is Peyton Royce, even though Billy Kay is already in the ring. Santana Garrett is 12. Interesting entry there.
I forgot I didn't even know she was still with WWE, because I could have swore I saw her in AEW a few weeks ago.
You might be thinking of Ty Conti.
No, I saw Santana, and I was like, Santana Garrett? She's still with WWE?
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of women that are bouncing in between promotions right now. And I know Tay Conti kind of had a bad falling out with WWE. That's why she's with AEW now. But I could have swore Santana Garrett was on the furlough list. I could have swore she was on that list.
Huh.
And when I saw her, I was like, okay, good for her. I'm glad she's still with the company, because
she didn't really do anything except take a sick bump that I would like to talk about in a second.
Then WWE points out, like, oh, Santana Garrett, we haven't seen her a lot because she's a trainer at the PC. I'm like, since when? Since when?
Since when? Yeah, no, I wasn't getting that news. But number 13 is Liv Morgan is 13. I love Liv Morgan. She's awesome. Number 14, which is always the cursed number in every Rumble, but number 14 is my pick to win the Women's Rumble going in, Rhea Ripley. I was so happy to see her. I'm pretty sure this is her main roster call-up.
Because, we have not seen her since New Year's Evil, when she lost to Raquel Gonzalez in the last women's standing match. And I got excited too, and that's when I said, okay, pieces are falling together. This is Rhea Ripley's night. And that's when I chose her for my pick as well.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley eliminated how many people, Kris?
7.
Oh,
there you go. It's put over huge, blasting all the way to the final 2. Spoiler alert.
I'm pretty sure she had the most eliminations in the match.
I'm pretty sure she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the case, she probably holds the record. Well, no, I mean Shayna Baszler eliminated a lot of people.
Baszler was second this evening with 6 eliminations.
Yeah, Baszler. Both Baszler and Bianca eliminated 8 women last year.
That's right. Yeah.
So not quite the record, but a great showing for Rhea nonetheless. But there was a sick elimination of Santana Garrett where she does the splits and Ripley knees her as hard as she fucking can in the face, and I was like, every single elimination Rhea Ripley had tonight looked like it hurt.
That was pretty sick. That was a pretty sick bump. And that brings me up to this point. When the Women's Royal Rumble was first conceived in 2018, a lot of people said that the women looked a little extra botchy in that match because they had never done a Royal Rumble match. It's nice to see that they are adapting to this match better and better in every year, and they're coming up with cleaner spots. like that one.
Oh yeah. My one, thank you for pointing that out. So yes, it was way cleaner than it was the first couple times, but there's still room for improvement. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if this was them doing it or if it was booking, like, don't eliminate this person yet. Don't eliminate them until this person's in, but there were points, and this was in the men's Royal Rumble too, but like there were points where the ring was really crowded, and
Yeah,
that's hard to work in.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it
easier to
is.
work in an empty ring than it is to work with like 8 other people in there.
But it
And I
does.
will say, I've noticed that WWE is kind of relying on this a little more, and it's a little lazy. They're relying more on oh, there's too many people in the ring. Well, so and so and so and so slide under the ropes and stay out for a couple of minutes.
I
And they're
hate
relying on that a lot more. And honestly, it's a little lazy.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate the under the ropes thing. I hate it.
Well,
I don't know why they started that.
yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, Victoria was eliminated at this point with a sick landing after she was in the Kirifuda clutch, and it looked like Shayna was legitimately choking her. I was really terrified, but thankfully she came out of it okay. Number 15.
Okay, and I want to bring this up real quick, and it's going to come back huge in the men's Rumble match.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring back a legend, and if it's a legend that's obviously not going to be a full-time legend, they need to be eliminated by a younger person that you're trying to push.
Yep.
And I'm glad that Shayna Baszler was the one, because it makes him look very strong. Remember that I said that when we get into the men's Rumble match, because it's gonna bring up a point that just pissed me off when a certain person eliminated a certain person. Anywho, go on.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, I think I know what you're talking about, but we'll get there. Number 15 is Charlotte Flair. Calling back to last year's WrestleMania match with Rhea, and they fought a lot. It was they were pretty much orbiting each other this whole match. I think that was a big story there. 16, Dana Brooke, she does absolutely nothing except take a sick bump from Rhea Ripley. Tori Wilson is number 17, as we pointed out earlier. 18 is, let's see, who is 18,
Lacey
Kris?
Evans.
Ah, yes. Yeah, Lacey Evans, who comes out to Ric Flair's music at first. Ric Flair comes out, and I'm like the buzzer hits, and Ric Flair comes out, and I'm like, this is Lacey Evans. Like, they're selling it like Ric Flair's entering the Rumble, and I'm like,
here's one of the reasons why I like what they're doing with Evans and the Flairs. When you saw, obviously, whenever Charlotte sees Rick or Evans, she gets pissed. And it brings this new fire in Charlotte that I really like. And Charlotte immediately kicked it up a notch the minute she saw Lacey Evans and Ric Flair. So I like that because it's adding character to Charlotte, which I really appreciate. And in this match, you saw like, okay, I'm going to beat the shit out of everyone in this match. As she proceeded to do the minute she got angry, the minute she saw her dad.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Lacey Evans was in there for quite a while, if I remember right. Number 19 is Mickie James, who I was really happy to see, but this is the point in the Rumble match where my biggest problem with it is, how do these fucking producers miss the elimination of Bayley? How do they do that?
That made me so angry. They were focused on something that was irrelevant, and all of a sudden, I see Bayley on the outside, on her ass, arguing with the referees.
Throwing a temper tantrum.
I'm just like, Bayley has lasted at least 30 minutes, and you miss her elimination. WWE, it's not that fucking hard. Your camera cuts are absolute garbage 75% of the time. And it's just like, who's that idiot that everyone likes that's running shit back there? Kevin Dunn. Like, come on, dude.
Nobody likes Kevin Dunn.
Get your head out of your ass, sit down with your camera crew, and fucking get this figured out.
This is the guy that cut away from Edge's first spear in 9 years 1 year ago. This is the same guy.
The same guy who cut away from AJ Styles' debut in WWE.
Yep. They still have not
Come
gotten
on,
their
you
shit
numbskull.
together, But, yeah, and who eliminated Bayley, Kris?
Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of important.
Like, it was this whole thing at the start of the whole pay-per-view where they like showed a clip of Baszler being like, I want to be the one to eliminate Bailey. She did, but no one caught it.
Yeah.
No. And to make it even worse, we don't have live crowds right now. So we have to rely on what the WWE is providing us, like angle-wise. So
Mhm.
it's not that fucking hard. They've had so much time to work on this. Again, I feel like it's something that if Dunn just got his fucking camera crew together and said, like, hey guys, let's make sure we're all on the same page when it comes to camera cuts, it can be fixed like that.
Yes.
And I am no expert in this field whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, I'm definitely more so of an actor than like a camera person, obviously. But I mean, it's still like it was still irking me. Number 20 is Nikki Cross, who comes out with the most generic alternate theme song I've ever heard in my life, which really made me upset. Even more
It was
so,
nice to see her.
even more so. Number 21 is Alicia Fox, who I really
was
don't
so
like.
happy to see her.
I don't get it. She's not funny. You know, she runs out, and I think I wrote down, please eliminate Alicia immediately.
Alicia Fox, I don't like her gimmick either. But she seems like the kind of girl that you know is fucking crazy, but you still want to go out and hang out with just to see the crazy shit that she does.
Yeah.
And as a wrestler, I look at her and as she's crazy, I want to see what she's going to do in the ring. And I've heard some very awful things about her. And I would never make fun of someone with addiction, but apparently she has some alcohol problems. And that's why WWE sent her home and said, hey, we're going to retire for you because she has some issues. With that being said, it was nice to see her again tonight.
Yeah.
And the minute I heard our truth music, I marked out.
I was about to say
exactly what they were going to do.
I was about to say, Chris, you probably we're dying at this point. Like, because I know you're a big fan of our truth.
I loved it. So I'm on the fence with Alicia. I think her character is hilarious.
It's horseshit.
So Alicia Fox is what I imagine Billy Kay's character would be if Billy Kay just snapped. But
yeah.
Alicia Fox, there's something about her. She plays a crazy person very well. And this is coming from a guy who plays, the village idiot and the village drunk very well. But it takes something to play crazy very well, and she does it wonderfully, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, like, do you all remember when she somehow became team captain of Team Raw, and then she took the gimmick so seriously that she was wearing a sailor's captain's hat for like the next 6 months? It's that kind of delusional crazy.
Yeah,
I love it. She does it so well. She would do it, and pairing her with R-Truth for that little gimmick tonight was perfect. Dude, R-Truth was just throwing her around like a freaking projectile to get the cruiserweights off of him for the 24/7 title. It was hilarious.
I know. It was so great. Well, first of all, R-Truth gets up on the apron and he's like, wrong Rumble. I'm sorry, wrong Rumble. Like, he enters the ring once he sees all the cruiserweights like Drew Gulak, who kind of declared for the Rumble, but we're going to ignore that, the whole bullshit.
Humberto Carrillo,
Akira Tozawa.
The usual suspects. Yeah, the usual suspects.
But Alicia Fox does become the 24/7 champion for about 2 minutes. R-Truth wins it right back. But, yeah, don't want to go too deep into that. Number 22 is Mandy Rose. Nothing much really happens. Entry 23, Dakota Kai for the second straight year.
Love seeing her.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. But number 24
You know what? I love Dakota Kai, but you think it would have made a bigger impact if it was Raquel Gonzalez?
Yeah. Raquel and Rhea Ripley just had that last woman standing match.
And I would have loved to have seen Gonzalez go up against Charlotte. That would have been interesting.
What do you think, Chris? Gonzalez versus Charlotte?
I definitely thought she was going to be in the match. I'm a little disappointed she wasn't. Gonzalez and Charlotte.
No.
I don't know Gonzalez's work that well. I haven't seen a lot of her stuff.
All I'll say is she was green as hell when she debuted in NXT, but she's getting better. She's getting a hell of a lot better.
She absolutely is, for sure. We do get number 24, Carmella, along with Reginald once again. And I was like, is Reginald, this is probably the point where he's going to enter the Women's Royal Rumble, isn't it?
I was hoping for that.
I wanted it so bad.
I thought Carmella was going to do the whole, oh no, my ankle hurts. Reginald, go in the match for me. But at the same time, why would she do that? Because she wouldn't get the championship match if he won. I don't know. I just thought it would have been funny to see him there. I don't know, just off the ropes, do some flips, and then he immediately get eliminated. But he did the thing I thought he was going to do, and he prevented Carmella from getting eliminated a couple of times.
He did. And then number 25, Tamina, comes out, super kicks Reginald, and he drops Carmella, and then she's eliminated. I thought that was pretty creative. And of all people, Tamina caused it. Congratulations, Tamina. You finally done something useful in 11 years with the company.
So, two things. Number one, the way she got eliminated was funny because Reginald saw Tamina and just immediately let go of Carmella. Like, oh, no, nope, sorry, not doing this anymore. And give props to Tamina. They actually let her do stuff in this match.
Yeah. I'll let you guys talk about this for a second. I just got to plug in real quick right here. There we go.
So I actually, in my little notes of like who was eliminated by who, for Carmella, I put that she was eliminated by Reginald with a little asterisk. Like,
yes.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Reginald on accident. Number 26 is Lana.
I'm
returned.
so happy.
Me too.
Yep.
And the way she came out was like she was scared. Kind of like, I've been gone for a month, and it was consistent, which I really appreciate. She could have just came out there doing her regular thing and ignoring it. No, she was consistent with the storyline and the nobody in the locker room likes me. I'm bullied. I'm not coming in here to make friends. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to, find the biggest guy in the prison yard and, try and fight him.
Yeah.
And that's what she did. She immediately tried to eliminate Rhea Ripley. And again,
I know we
so
talked
scared. About TLC. And I know we talked about this at TLC and how I think you guys didn't like it, but I like what they're doing with Lana because it's character development.
Mm-hmm.
She's standing up for herself. I like that. As a person who has been bullied before, I like to see people stand up for themselves.
Yes.
What they need to do now is they need to build her to Mania season. If they build her properly, come Mania season, I could see her in the title picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say Women's Royal Rumble winner. I mean, not Women's Royal Rumble. Women's Battle Royal winner.
No, I was like...
I don't see her in the title match at Mania, but by that time, any pay-per-view after Mania, if they build her properly, I think she could be title material.
Also, this is the only way to get her to stay with the company.
Yeah.
Because remember, I'm pretty sure Miro's calling for her in AEW.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. Here's a rant coming from me. Number 27 is Alexa Bliss. She is one of the most over acts on the roster right now. Not just on Raw, but the entire main roster. What she's doing with the Fiend is excellent. She goes into the transformations phase. Like the lights go down.
Hold on. Before you go into the transformation phase.
Okay.
I liked how everyone saw her and thought, oh my God, that's that little weirdo that, that keeps doing this weird shit on Raw. Let's go kick her ass right now because she's that little weirdo. I liked that because it was smart.
Ganged up on her.
Here's the shortest girl in WWE. Let's all 7 of us team up and go beat the crap out of her.
Well, she was a house of fire, man. And I had to get into this transformation. I'm sorry. So the lights go down.
Go for it. Yeah.
She does the Fiend gimmick. And then my pick, Rhea Ripley, eliminates her from behind while the transformation is happening. You just killed the whole gimmick.
I get that from a kayfabe perspective. I do, because Ripley saw the opportunity and said, okay, I'm going to get rid of her. But yes, from a booking standpoint, I was so excited to see what Alexa Bliss was going to do in this match because she's just a little weirdo right now, and I love her, and I just want to go to her playground and go on the swing set with her. But Yeah, her gimmick is absolutely amazing, and they could have done more with her in the match. They could have made her more of a threat because the past couple weeks on Raw, she's been a threat. She's been a threat to Asuka. She's been a threat to the Raw Women's Championship, and they kind of just wasted it.
She was definitely.
So I agree. It was wasted.
She was definitely not in the ring when the new and improved Ember Moon runs down to number 28, and I was very happy to see Ember Moon again. Nia Jax is number 29. I was so scared. Number 30 is Natalya, as was determined on WWE Backstage. Kris is shaking his head over there.
And I think they did that just so we wouldn't expect like Becky Lynch. Just so they could say, hey, no, number 30 is Natalya.
Even though Becky was apparently at the building.
Yeah, I think they did that just to shut down any rumors right then and there that she was going to be in the match.
Becky wasn't going to be in the Rumble this year. Like, I'm sorry it's way too soon after she gave birth to her first child. Congrats to her and Seth Rollins, by the way. That's amazing. But I mean, she probably had little Rue at the building with her, but she wasn't going to enter the Rumble right now. She's just not ready, not yet.
Yeah, wait for after WrestleMania.
Yeah, but Nia eliminated a bunch of people, didn't she? including Lacey Evans, which wasted.
I'll have you know, two of the four were actually with Shayna as like a tandem elimination,
and
which was smart.
And
because of course you want to team with your tag team championship partner to work out throughout the rest of the field, but then they stopped working together very soon. And I just looked at that from a kayfabe standpoint and say like, hey, you're not that stubborn. Why don't you work together until it's the final two and then you guys can fight? But they just kind of threw that out the window too. A lot of little inconsistencies in this Rumble, like you said, like, attacking Alexa Bliss and this, that just, these are just the little issues that I had with the match.
Yeah. I believe it was at this point, I think that Lana eliminated Nia, yeah? Like before...
Well, Jax eliminated Baszler first.
Which makes no sense since they just won the tag titles, but...
Exactly, yeah. You'd think they would have a little more cohesiveness and to stick together to the end of the match, and then they could fight it out to see who's the better woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then what also... like what I didn't like was the fact that they just, after they were eliminated, they were all like, bygones be bygones, let's team up again and work together.
They beat the crap out of Natalya while she was on her way to the ring.
Nia, y'all were just beating the heck out of each other. Nia eliminated you, and now you're all buddy again and going in the ring to cause more mayhem. Like, what? Huh? No,
yep.
I'd walk away. I'd continue that storyline.
Yes. Oh yeah. So we are left with a final five.
Well, yeah, Lana eliminated Nia Jax, which was amazing and awesome. And I'm going to go back and rewatch that elimination like 100 times.
Me too. Nia Jax. Yeah. See you later. But we are left with the final five of Lana, Natalya, Charlotte, Bianca, and Rhea.
And that's when it got really interesting because I will give both Rumble matches props, and like it really made you wonder who was going to win these matches.
I don't think it got interesting. For me, it didn't really get that interesting until the top three, because Lana was the most gullible babyface on the whole roster. She looked like the most gullible babyface because she was hugging Natalya. She's a heel. Natalya immediately turns on her, and then Natalya is thrown out in short order. But I mean,
and here we are with Belair and Ripley, two brand new, fresh, spanking women on the WWE roster. Mm-hmm. And I was so happy to see that for a change. That was such a breath of fresh air to see something different.
Yep.
No Charlotte, no Nia Jax, no one, none of the usual suspects.
Well, they worked together. They worked together to eliminate Charlotte, I'm pretty sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that spot.
Great psychology.
That was a good, like, tip of the cap.
Great booking. Great booking for this Rumble. I'm just going to say it. I think this was the best women's Rumble since the first one. I think they're learning. But yeah, to your point, leaves us with my pick, Rhea Ripley going in and Bianca Belair. Keep in mind, Rhea Ripley came in at 14. Belair came in at number 3. So she's been in for over 50 minutes at this point.
Yeah. And this is when it started setting in my mind, I want Ripley, but I feel like if Ripley would have won, like we talked about with Survivor Series, that would have been a huge missed opportunity to put over Belair, they are putting over like crazy on the main roster right now.
Mhm.
They are praising this girl, you know, every single SmackDown, putting over her big stars. And even though I wanted Rhea Ripley to win, I just don't think it would have been smart to book her to win against Bianca Belair. Like, they already made it this far. And what I liked about this finishing sequence is that we haven't seen this in a while. They teased each other's finishers, and they actually had a little match instead of just going straight for the finish.
It was a nice little 5-minute sequence, and pretty much what happens is I think Rhea went for a Riptide, Bianca went for a Kiss of Death, and then they do a nice little do-si-do sequence, and then Bianca tosses Ripley. She out-wrestles her to win the Royal Rumble from number 3, and she's going to WrestleMania, presumably to take on Sasha Banks, which will be a killer match.
Fantastic. I am so happy for Bianca Belair.
Loved it. I loved it.
Considering she cut a very emotional promo afterward, and I was telling Brittany, any athlete should be emotional because of everything they've had to overcome this year, being scared that they not even be able to get to do their profession anymore. And here Bianca Belair is winning the Royal Rumble. She's going to go on to WrestleMania to challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I couldn't be more happy for her. It's fantastic. Fantastic finish.
Kris, thoughts?
Well, like I texted you earlier, I'm shocked, but also not shocked, because Belair has so much momentum from SmackDown under her belt. Like, she's been just running circles around Bayley and the SmackDown women's division. So I'm not surprised that they gave her the Rumble. But then again, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
This is her what? She hasn't even been on the main roster a full year.
Nope.
No.
And they gave her the Rumble.
Yeah, and even when she debuted at WrestleMania, how often was she on Raw? Like,
not very often. Times? No. But I will say this. Last year at the Rumble, when she tossed out all those people, I'm about to eat my own words from last year. I wasn't really like that big of a fan of what Bianca was doing. I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know if it was the gimmick or what, but
Bianca Belair went from being the most annoying wrestler in the world on NXT to her being one of my favorites. And when a wrestler can do that, I commend that hard.
I think it's because she's better as a face than she is as a heel. She was a heel.
She really is.
On NXT, and I had no interest in her in NXT, but now she's a face, and I'm like,
when she debuted, like in the Mae Young Classic, I saw the gimmick and I was like, this is very annoying.
Yeah.
Then she went to NXT and they were kind of trying to force her onto us, and I was like, this is very annoying. So when she turned heel, I was like, okay, I don't mind her that much anymore. And then she kept growing and growing and growing. And by the time she made it to SmackDown, I was like, I like this girl. She is definitely it definitely is a superstar that Vince would easily like.
I really have grown to respect Bianca Belair, not just because of her work in the ring, but also just who she is as a person. If you guys have seen her Chronicle on the network, you guys will know exactly who Bianca Belair is. You know, she's well respected in the locker room. She definitely deserved it. Like I said, Rhea was my pick going in, but once Bianca threw her out, I wasn't even upset.
Yeah, and
I kid you not.
That's the thing. They made a documentary for her on the WWE Network. That's how much they've been putting her over. So I feel like, they're gonna be documenting her entire journey going into WrestleMania. They're probably gonna, document her in the limousine, arriving at the stadium, just like they do with all the other competitors for WrestleMania. It's gonna be nice. They're gonna have a nice piece for her going into Mania.
Absolutely. I gave this Rumble match 4 stars. I think, like I said, best Rumble match, I think, since the first Women's Rumble. I like this more than when Becky won the Rumble in 2019. I definitely liked it more than last year.
I don't like giving Rumble matches star reviews because I feel like I can't rate them on that scale. I rate it on a scale of, did I have fun watching it? And I had a lot of fun watching this.
2 thumbs up.
There was a lot of surprises. There was a lot of drama in this match. And I just don't feel like there's ever been a Rumble match that hasn't done that for me.
Yes. Kris, Final thoughts on the Women's Rumble?
So I don't know about a scale of 5. I think I could
Yeah.
do a scale of 10 though.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna say like 8.25.
Okay.
I don't know. There were moments I didn't like the Alexa Bliss getting eliminated mid transformation.
Still so
thing.
peeved.
I see why, but also like I'm disappointed because I wanted to see what they would do with that.
Oh yeah, I thought she was gonna transform and then just clear the ring.
See, that's what I thought too. But I was like, so the fan in me was like, I want to see this transformation. I want to see little Alexa Bliss clear the ring. But then like the wrestler in me was like, knowing how they've been doing cutscenes, there's like 9 women in the ring right now, and they all have to figure out how to match their positions for this cutscene.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be a little hard, and I'm like, I want to see it, but I know they didn't do it because it was hard.
Yeah, and I know they're going to continue with Alexa Bliss because, like I said, she's a little weirdo, and I love her, and I want to bake cookies with her. So please, WWE, keep up with Alexa Bliss because she's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. But congratulations to Bianca Belair. Well-deserved victory, and one of the best babyface emotional promos I think we've had in a while after the match. She didn't announce she was going after Sasha, but again, I'm just assuming that's...
Oh, yeah, and like I said, I liked her promo because it was real.
Yeah.
Any athlete can, attest to that, to
Absolutely.
achieving a goal in a time where they probably thought they would never be able to achieve this goal.
Absolutely, man. Couldn't have said it any better. But, good fucking Christ! From the best stipulation in wrestling history to the worst one in my eyes.
Very good stipulation.
Fuck the
and
last.
Here we have a cameo from a kidder.
We do. Hi, Kidder.
Is hijacking our podcast, and he has his ass on our face, and he's gonna say, "You know what, guys? I'm out of here. Screw you guys. I'm going home."
What's your cat's name, Kris?
Victor.
Nice.
Hey.
Say Victor.
He is hijacking this podcast, and I have no issue with that.
He is.
Cameo.
He really likes to be on camera, especially on the computers.
Nice.
So I like last man standing matches.
Fuck this last man standing match, man.
Next up, we have Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship match. For the Universal Championship,
I'm done.
The last man standing match.
I was so disappointed in this.
Let's talk about. Okay, so this feud is very. Zach, where you going? Zach, where you going?
You just dipped.
You did. He doesn't want to talk about this match.
Okay, so I'll start it off because I got a lot on. Okay, so
please start it off.
I have said this on almost everyone I've been on here. I do not like Roman Reigns. Period. End of discussion. Fuck the tribal chief. All right.
I'd rather not, man.
You just see Roman Reigns' hand like immediately grab Chris's shoulder and said, "What'd you say?"
What'd you say?
Roman Reigns is John Cena's moves of doom. That's it. That's all his character is. He is not a character. It's just John Cena's 6 moves of doom. But I'm happy they paired him with KO again. I'm not happy they paired him with KO again because we've now had Reigns and KO like 12 throughout their illustrious careers.
Yep.
Yes, they've switched baby face and heel, but like
this match was not as good as their no disqualification match 2017.
It wasn't as good as their match at TLC. It wasn't as good as their it wasn't as good as their steel cage match even on SmackDown. I feel like
I can't believe this was the worst match out of the series.
Yep, I told you. It's this stipulation.
No. It
totally
is one of those matches that we're gonna go play by play with, and I'm gonna. So this match, this feud is very good because Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns have very good chemistry together, and I never thought I would like Kevin Owens as much as a babyface as I do in this feud. He is, again, I think Michael Cole said it best on commentary. He's scrappy. And I love this scrappy babyface coming from Kevin Owens. It makes you want to cheer for him.
And he's a smart babyface, which WWE doesn't do often. I really, really loved what KO was doing in this match, psychology-wise, going after Roman's legs in the early portion when they were fighting on top of those big scaffolds where all the LEDs are. I liked that portion.
You know, what this match lacked, which I think it could have benefited more from, is some table spots.
Well, I mean, you got two of them. You got two of them.
You know, some more like an announce table spot or like more stuff. Okay, and you know, I think we should get into like the meat and potatoes of this match, because we start off with, you know, just regular wrestling, and then all of a sudden Roman Reigns his Superman punch. Then all of a sudden Kevin Owens is the pop-up powerbomb, which I really like. They got the finishers out of the way, like right now. It's like we know we're gonna see finishers. It reminded me of John Cena versus Batista from 2010. It's like, you know, you're gonna see the attitude adjustment. You know, you're gonna see the Batista bomb. Let's get those moves out of the way right now.
You know why the last man standing match annoys me though? 8.
Why?
9. Oh, he's back up every single fucking time.
Well, what else are they supposed to do?
Every single fucking time. I have to wait for those damn near falls. I have to fucking wait for them. At least if they were to do a false count anywhere match, it would be a lot more quicker paced. This match was extremely slow.
Appreciate the selling. Appreciate the acting. They have to show it.
I appreciate the selling.
So I appreciate the selling too. I don't like the stipulation.
Immediately after this, Reigns and Owens make their way to, I think that's their spot. I think they just have some pillows and some blankets that said, this is Roman and Kevin's spot. Because throughout all of the past few weeks on SmackDown, they have immediately gone to that area where the Thunderdome audience is. And they've been fighting, for the bulk of their. I forgot I was watching the Royal Rumble. I thought I was watching SmackDown from a couple weeks ago when
this
they started
match
doing
was barely taking place in the ring.
I will say though, Owens took a sick bump off of those bleachers onto the table.
That did not look good. I think that
he looked like he had to jump from a very awkward angle to make sure he fell onto the table.
Yeah. Well, they went up to the highest point also, which can't have been comfortable.
No.
No. That was at least a 12-foot drop.
The KO's fallen from higher points, though, off of cages, off of ladders. Thank you, Braun Strowman, but...
He's obviously not afraid of heights.
No.
Gentlemen, I'm going to let you know this now. Whether it's 1 foot or whether it's 20 feet, it hurts regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That just looked like a sicker bump than normal. But most of this match actually does take place backstage, and Roman Reigns actually does run over Kevin Owens with a golf cart.
Like it fucking hurt.
Though, I've never seen any pro wrestling promotion ever do that.
Okay, so...
WWE did it better. AEW did it for comedic reasons. Roman Reigns was literally trying to kill this motherfucker.
Okay, so
yeah.
I was watching this on my PlayStation and I forgot to pause it, but I was in the restroom and I came back, and as soon as I opened my door to my room, I heard a golf cart and I was like, am I watching AEW right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Did I accidentally turn on Stand Up Stampede?
Play that back. What?
Rewind.
First of all, it was really cool because we've all wondered how WWE is working with Tropicana Field right now with the Thunderdome. I thought it was very, very, very cool that they actually showed us the rest of the baseball stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And after that golf cart spot, I will say I was getting major vibes from last year, Roman Reigns and King Corbin in the Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah,
I was
did
getting
too.
Major vibes of that match.
I also liked that they kind of gave us a behind-the-scenes look at what they've been doing with the backstage area. I like the idea of having a workout ring in the arena, they can practice some stuff just in case. I mean, especially for the Royal Rumble.
I thought they were just going to start working in that ring for a second.
Yep. Yeah, that would be
This
cool.
is where the match started getting really good. Because you got a golf cart spot, which, holy shit, that looked like it hurt. Owens just went face first through that plexiglass. And then Reigns starts insulting Kevin Owens' father. Because if you remember on SmackDown, Owens cut a very heartfelt promo talking about his father and his grandfather. Reigns starts talking shit. That switch goes on in Owens' head, and he starts beating the shit out of Reigns right there. And that's when the pop-up powerbomb on the announce table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was a nice spot. And then
I didn't see how or when exactly, but Reigns got busted open somewhere around there.
Yeah,
as well.
he was like bleeding from the mouth, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
he had some on his forehead, some on his cheek.
It was all over the place. It was like Julius slobber almost.
I was texting some friends during this match, and remember, Zach, I was a little behind because I paused it for like 1 second.
Yeah.
Brittany had to go to the bathroom, and I get a text from my friend saying, "Oh, hey, way to copy AEW." I go, "Wait, what the fuck do you mean copy AEW?" And then I see the golf car. I'm like, "Okay, I see what he's talking about." And then my other friend texts me and says, "Who left their takeout on the table?" And I go, "What
Kevin
takeout?"
Owens.
They start fighting on the announce table, and I just see a box of takeout, and I'm just like, somebody left their food there, and it's gonna get destroyed.
Roman Reigns sold the DoorDash. I love that. I love that.
And I turn to Brittany and I say, "Hey, watch, the person whose food that is, they're awkwardly standing in the background just going,
Oh
hey,
man,
can I he's gonna I'm just gonna take this real quick. Okay, you guys go back to fighting."
okay. If someone actually did that, I would have put this match over 4 stars. But
Oh my
no.
god.
That would have been awesome. Like, now that you think about it, I'm more upset that it didn't happen.
Yeah. And then Reigns gets set up on another table, and Owens does this really cool spot where he sets up a forklift, raises the platform to its highest point, goes up to that, and in a very sick shot, does a swanton bomb off of the forklift through the table. That was easily the best spot of the match.
That was awesome. I'll give them credit for that. But after that, it's pretty much all downhill from here. They go back to the exact same spot that they were working in for the majority of the match, and Roman Reigns introduces some handcuffs.
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh, wait, no. Screw me. Yeah, no, Roman actually speared Kevin Owens through the screen at that point, yeah? There was a big gap there.
But that was a nice spot.
So, did I miss the memo where they stopped filming them in Gorilla? Because, like, they showed them going into the Gorilla, and then they showed them coming out the entrance ramp.
Because apparently, I guess Vince doesn't want to be shown on camera. But I don't know.
Fair enough.
I mean, if
he is kind of the man behind the curtain nowadays.
If he had at least made a cameo there and been like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Like
he did at Money in the Bank with AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan.
That at least would have been another entertaining little cameo there. But yeah, Roman spears Kevin through the screen, and I'm like, okay, this might be it. Kevin rolls over at 9 because I have to wait for the damn near fall again.
Well, I mean, he's got to sell the spot. He can't get up at 4.
No, well, I mean, he could kick out at 2. That's an easy solution. Don't just make it a last man standing match and wait for the damn near falls. I'm sorry.
Owens gets up. This is when Reigns pulls out the handcuffs. And Owens is able to wrestle the handcuffs away from Reigns. And Owens, like you said, smart babyface, does something very smart. He handcuffs Reigns to the very bottom of this steel beam that they're next to. And Michael Cole says, "Oh, Reigns can't get to his feet. He's stuck. He's going to get counted out."
New champion.
Then this motherfucker piece of shit, he's smart though, grabs the referee and just fucking yanks his ass and hits his head on the
when the ref was at 9, new champion. We had 2 times where we would have had a new champion. The ref was at 9. Reigns just grabs his shirt, runs him into one of the LED light strips right there, face first. Yeah. We got to wait for a new ref.
Again, smart babyface, smart heel.
Props to the referee also for taking that bump. That must not have been comfortable.
Okay. I want to mention something because we mentioned this with Reginald's bumps as well. This is a fun fact for everybody. Mm-hmm. All almost 500 subscribers. Most, I'm talking like 95, 96, maybe even higher % of WWE personnel are or were wrestlers. They all know how to talk. They all know how to do gimmicks. They all know how to talk on a mic. They all know how to take bumps. Unfortunately, when WWE rolls into town, they'll set up a bunch of auditions, and more often than not, they'll be like, "What's your resume say?" "Oh, nice. You're going to be an announcer for the day." And that's how you get stuck with guys doing announcing, ring crew, and all bunch of stuff. A lot of WWE personnel are phenomenal wrestlers. That's how you get the EC3, the MJF,
Pierce.
the whole bunch of guys that are like security back in the day when we're all like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's him. He was
See?
in WWE."
I just
Oh,
kicked
yeah.
Stan.
And it was Sean Spears.
Yep.
Most to all extras and other personnel are or were very talented workers and wrestlers.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. I'm just that's me pointing out. So the ref bump, yeah. No, that guy,
course.
the ref
That
took
guy
a
knew.
clean bump right there. That was a
He did.
good shot.
He did. Did not look
so
comfy.
then the other referees come out to help this referee, and it's like, oh look, another referee. He's gonna start counting. Is that when Reigns hits a low blow on Owens?
No, Paul had
That was before.
Paul had the key, and he was fumbling around with it. The ref was counting, and like he
stopped at 5, and this was
Because
before
Heyman couldn't
Reigns,
get the handcuffs undone.
This was before Reigns got to his feet. The ref stopped counting at 5.
Mhm.
And I was at least up to 15 before Reigns got to his
I
feet.
will say, okay, that was a very shitty finish. I mean, not finish, but a very shitty botch. But at least WWE covered it up well enough because Reigns was able to get onto a foot and get to his feet. I don't think the referee needed to stop counting, but at least they covered it up well enough. My issue with that finish is that right afterward, Owens gets low blowed, Reigns immediately puts on the guillotine choke, and that's the end of the match.
So anticlimactic.
It killed the finish so hard. I so badly wanted to give this match like 4.5 stars, but I can only give it 3.5 because that ending was just so weak.
Those guys,
I know Reigns and Owens are better than that.
Those guys did all they could with the shitty gimmick match, but I mean, yeah, like anticlimactic finish. And honestly, like my rants about the last man standing match, like I don't intend to discourage people from liking it. If you enjoy the gimmick, that's totally fine. I'm just voicing my opinion. It's subjective, but
good match, Zack.
Yeah, but so I gave the match 3.5 as well. Those guys, I give them a lot of credit where they're due. They were pulling off a lot of creative spots, but shitty ass finish. Didn't like it at all. Fuck last man standing. Kris, what did you think?
I give Reigns a 1.5. I give Owens a 3. I give the match 2.5, and I give that finish -4.
Wow.
I'm
well
so
said.
pissed at that finish.
Well,
this really should have been the match of the night. This really should have been the match of the night.
It should have, but thankfully both rumbles were great. Hi, Victor.
Yeah. This cat is hijacking.
The Victor stealing the show. Did you win the Royal Rumble? Is that why you were called Victor?
I'm so glad that part is going to be on the video now, so I can show Brittany like, hey, look. Our friend's cat showed up in the video.
No, I'm gonna leave this all in, of course. But,
you better.
Yeah, so here we are, friends. The men's Royal Rumble match. Thank you, Greg Hamilton, for not explaining the rules to us a second time. Because that was an issue.
I tried to fast forward to get a little caught up, and then I went a little too far because I saw Edge's entrance. Like, okay, no, go back. I was like, wait, damn, they must have went straight into this match. And yeah, they didn't explain the rules.
Nope. Edge comes out number 1, of course, as all of you are aware by this point. Number 1 is Edge. Number 2 is Randy Orton. And Edge runs out of the ring during Orton's entrance, and they fight all over ringside this first part of the match. And immediately in my head, I was like, the reason why they're doing this is because we're probably not getting Edge versus Orton at Mania. So this is probably
they want to tie up this loose end of their storyline. And you know what? We might see them fight at Fastlane, maybe.
Perhaps, maybe even at
just
the
to
Chamber.
Get that, get that out of the way.
if Edge is up for another match with Randy on the road to WrestleMania, I'm all for it because I mean,
would love to see him like in a street fight against Orton at Fastlane just to finally finish up that storyline.
It's full circle, Tomas. That was the first podcast we ever did together. Was for Backlash, the greatest wrestling match ever.
That's right. Yeah, it was the greatest wrestling.
It was.
I can't even say that with a straight face.
That was your guys' first thought. My first thought was, what happened to the burn marks on Orton's face?
I know what happened to his
Right?
lucha. What happened to his lucha mask? Phantom.
I was so ready for him to wrestle the whole Rumble wearing that mask.
I was so ready to make a Phantom of the Orton joke on this pod, but now I cannot.
No.
But yeah, he nixed the mask like on Raw the week after he debuted with the mask, and I'm like.
I was so looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with it.
Way to burn the gimmick, man. No pun intended, but
no. Pun is always intended.
Sorry,
wow.
but yeah. So the countdown clock starts while they're fighting outside, and number 3 is Sami Zayn, who comes out with his goons filming the weird documentary that he's apparently releasing.
Conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, yeah. That's his gimmick now, and his shirt says "I am the Intercontinental Champion," even though he lost it a month ago. It's great.
Yeah,
Sami Zayn is the man.
I'm not mad. I love the gimmick he's doing right now. It's phenomenal. He's crushing this gimmick.
Yeah, but then on the other side of the spectrum, number 4 is Mustafa Ali. Retribution fucking sucks.
But Mustafa Ali does not.
He does not. He was perfectly fine in this match. I have all the respect in the world for all those workers. Get well soon, Mia Yim.
I like the consistency in this match, and the commentators brought it up too, how Mustafa Ali does not like old people, so they started teaming up on Edge. So I like that consistency there.
It was all triple teaming on Edge, and I was like,
time out. Hold on.
What's up?
Mustafa Ali doesn't like veterans coming back. Mustafa Ali doesn't like old people.
Well, he doesn't. That's the veterans. That's the nice way of saying it. Mustafa Ali. Okay, I want that on a T-shirt now. Mustafa Ali doesn't
like old people.
Oh, just wait until you get to the Andre Battle Royal, Mustafa Ali. But entry number 5, Jeff Hardy makes the save on Edge, which was surprising.
They did him so dirty.
Yeah, he was tossed out first, and I wrote bullshit.
I don't care about Jeff Hardy.
Man, you know
he's kind of overstayed his welcome.
He needs
to go to AEW and do that thing with Matt one more time before it gets stale, which I kind of think it already has. But that's my little rant on Jeff Hardy. I didn't care.
It was right here where Edge and Orton go to the announce table, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, here's my biggest nitpick with this Rumble match. Even though, spoiler, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. I really loved it. But Edge hits a reverse DDT on Randy Orton on the announce table. And Orton is selling his knee, and they escort him to the back.
How do you hit an execution?
No, it's a reverse Christian DDT, and Orton, takes the bump. Huh. Like Christian did that move all the time growing up.
Yeah. I just thought I could have sworn he did an execution. Anywho, go on.
Yeah, but it was that point. They escort Orton to the back, and I'm just like, was it really that big of a problem to have Orton in there the whole time with Edge? Like, was it really that big of an issue? Like,
good point.
I just don't like that. But
yeah,
it's one thing.
Anything. I would have done like the reverse. Edge hasn't been Edge had a phenomenal showing. He kept in there tonight.
Yep.
But he's just coming back from injury. He hasn't been in the ring for a while. If I were booking it, I would have switched it. I would have left Edge out till the end.
Maybe they did it this way because they knew that kayfabe-wise, they would have to pry Randy Orton and Edge off of each other, and they didn't want them in the ring together the entire match. Which again, I don't see an issue with them being. Maybe they wanted some of the focus on the match to not be on them, because believe it or not, even though Edge just announced, this whole Rumble match was revolved around, Edge.
It was the cutting edge show basically in there.
Yeah. And it was more, spoiler alert, this Rumble win for Edge was a hell of a lot more important than the one in 2010.
Yes. Oh, I agree.
It felt a lot better.
Spoiler alert for sure, but I'm sure we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I loved it. But number 6 is Dolph Ziggler. I immediately groaned because I don't like him. Number 7 is Shinsuke Nakamura with his old theme with no fans to sing it, which made me very depressed.
Oh, me and Brittany sang it, so.
Of course. But number 8, I popped for this so much. Kris, who was it?
Motherfucking Carlito, baby.
Yes.
Okay.
I loved it.
We knew he was going to be in this match because he missed Legends Night.
He was.
So when I heard that music, I was like, justice has been served.
In
and
phenomenal
Carlito
shape.
So good.
Okay, I didn't
so good.
think so. I didn't think he was gonna be in it because I thought they'd pull this BS like, you gypped us on Raw Legends night, so like, we'll give your position to someone else. Bye-bye.
I for one had this spoiled, so I kind of knew it was coming, but I still popped. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
But
two things. Number one, if Carlito cannot have an attitude for 5 minutes, and him and WWE can work something out, I would like to see Carlito come back full time.
Yeah. MVP did it. Nobody think MVP was going to say
it. If Carlito cannot have an attitude for 5 minutes, I think he can work something out. And again, he's really good friends with MVP, so maybe MVP can vouch for him.
Save the Apple spot for the night after WrestleMania. And I was talking to Kris actually before we started recording, and he's like, well, why didn't Carlito spit the apple at Nakamura?
They can't.
And I was like, pandemic. That's why.
They can't do it.
So
unfortunately, so I saw that coming. It's like, ooh, what are they gonna do? Okay, fine. Just have Nakamura kick the apple out of his hand.
Nakamura with the apple, I was really like like pondering what he was gonna do with that thing. But
yeah.
Number 9, Xavier Woods, Austin Creed from Up, Up, Down, Down, of course.
Real quick, we didn't allude to it, but the New Day had a promo backstage, and Xavier Woods was wearing a Luke Harper picture on his jacket, and that made me happy.
The New Day are my new favorite wrestlers. Rest in peace, Big Rig. We miss you.
Oh my God, they've always been my favorite wrestlers.
Speaking of, number 10 is Big E, who is in the ring for a long time. But they team up for a little bit. They toss out. I think Xavier was tossed first. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Xavier was tossed first. Mustafa.
No. Xavier. Yes.
Yeah.
Xavier was tossed
by
Ollie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Big E tossed him right after, to my recollection.
Okay, Big E's been doing this thing lately that I really like. Of course, he's happy-go-lucky guy, but you see it in his face. When you piss him off, he immediately goes into this. Okay, you done pissed me off, and I like that intensity from Big E lately. And he did that with Mustafa Ali, kind of like, oh, what, really? You're gonna eliminate my boy? And he immediately grabbed him and threw him out.
Yep.
I like that from Big E. I want to see more intensity from him.
Me too. I loved Big E in this match. Great showing for sure. I think his best Rumble showing yet, and he's been in a good amount of them. Number 11, John Morrison, who I love, and I was so happy to see him last more than 9 seconds this time. Number 12,
he had a fun little exchange with Carlito, I think.
He had a fun exchange with Ricochet also, who came out right after him.
Yes.
And Ricochet was in there for a while too.
He was one of those. He was one of those back pocket guys. I was like,
stuck around in there.
If he lasts, I was surprised.
I was happy to see that. I love Ricochet. He's, I think, the most underrated worker on the roster. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh yeah.
I think he deserves way better. But yeah, Paul Heyman had an idea with him. He was in the ring when Drew Claymore Brock out last year, but give the assist to him.
Oh yeah.
Number 13 was Elias, and it took me a second to register that was Elias's music. And he was the one that dumps Carlito, and I wrote down bullshit.
Hey, again, if you're gonna bring back a legend, you have him get eliminated by someone that could benefit from that. Yeah. And if Carlito wants to come back full time, I could see him in a little feud with Elias. So let's see if we see him tomorrow night.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we see Carlito on Raw tomorrow night. I'm sure he's still in the area. We saw MVP the night after the Royal Rumble, so
and then
you never know.
MVP stuck around, and then the Hurt Business was born. So all the better for it.
So
Carlito. Sorry,
Carlito, what's up?
Side note: Carlito is in phenomenal shape.
He is.
That dude put on some heavyweight muscle.
He looks like he actually gives a shit now.
Bro,
those backstabbers he was throwing were really good, and those guys like Mustafa Ali especially were bumping like crazy for those backstabbers.
Again, if Carlito wants to start giving a shit, I think a second WWE run is easily in his future.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Number 14, the NXT entrant everybody was expecting, Damian Priest.
Yes.
We alluded to him earlier on, and he eliminated how many people, Chris?
4.
Yep. Yeah, he sure did. Great showing. He dumped
He
Elias
was
first.
supposed to debut on SmackDown after Halloween Havoc. For whatever reason, it got or I'm sorry, not Halloween Havoc.
New Year's Evil.
Yeah, after New Year's Evil. Yeah. He was supposed to debut on SmackDown. I don't know why WWE pulled the plug on that, but he should be showing up on SmackDown after tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Even though he dumped Elias, and that might be an interesting feud. Number 15. do you want to talk about this, Tomas? Because you love Bad Bunny.
Oh, but so the Miz comes out, and him and Morrison team up for a little bit. And okay, as Miz is making his entrance, there was a backstage promo where the Miz and Morrison wanted to team up with Bad Bunny, and Bad Bunny, you know, being the phenomenal actor he is, just goes, nah, I'm good. And Booker T shows behind them, and they had a little thing. But for whatever reason, Bad Bunny's laptop was still set up by ringside after his performance. And the Miz goes up there with the briefcase, and he starts just breaking all of Bad Bunny's shit. And the minute he did that, I realized, okay, Bad Bunny's going to come out, and he's going to get involved in the match. So Bad Bunny comes out, and Priest immediately eliminates Miz and Morrison. Yep. And then Bad Bunny goes to the top rope, and he almost trips, but he actually lands a pretty clean splash on Miz and Morrison. It was way better than Snoop Dogg's.
Wasn't bad at all.
He still almost botched it.
It was a very clean cross body.
Yeah.
It was very impressive.
Call me crazy, but if they want to do Bad Bunny and Booker T versus Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania, I would not be opposed to that.
Me neither.
I would.
You know, thinking about it, I don't think I'd be opposed. I think that'd be a nice match for the kickoff.
Why would you be opposed to it?
Sure, he had a clean splash. He's not a wrestler.
I can name
Booker T
20 celebrities that are not wrestlers that have had matches.
Okay, yes. But they've been paired with people that can hold their own in a 2-on-1 situation. Booker T, I don't know what his what shape he is.
He's in pretty good shape considering he was wearing that sleeveless camouflage vest in that music video.
No. You could have the look, but you can still have ring rust.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that Miz and Morrison could be two guys that could take care of Booker, considering the status of Miz and Morrison?
I think so.
Oh, easily.
John Morrison. John Morrison again. Miz is very safe.
It's a very silly thought, but if you wanted to have like a WrestleMania moment, and we didn't get to have any of those celebrity moments last year, I think it could be fun. I know it's incredibly silly, but
when did
sillier?
When did Rob Gronkowski not count as a celebrity?
Since I said so, because he sucks. I tried to block out last year's WrestleMania from my memory because it was awful.
Halfway through the Royal Rumble, keep in mind Edge is still in the ring. This will be important later. Number 16 is Matt Riddle, who had an excellent showing in this match. Number 17 was my pick going in, Daniel Bryan. He is a House of Fire. Speaking of fire, number 18 is Demon Kane.
Okay,
yes.
so
Mayor Kane.
Yep, Mayor Kane.
And of course, I get excited, so I'm gonna start complaining. Number one, he looks like shit. He looks like shit.
He didn't look bad.
He's got that melted candle body now. So remember what I said about if you're going to have a legend in a match, have them get eliminated by someone that could benefit from it.
Exactly.
Kane had no business eliminating Ricochet.
That was okay. Here's my thing though. First of all, Kane tossed out Ziggler, so thank you, Kane, for doing that.
That was very symbolic because remember on SmackDown, Ziggler said he's getting close to tying Kane's record for most Royal Rumble appearances. So it was very symbolic.
I didn't even think
Kane
about
to
that.
eliminate. Yeah, it was very symbolic of Kane to eliminate Ziggler.
There you
Kane
go.
had no business eliminating Ricochet.
That was a sick elimination of Ricochet, though. Only Ricochet could have taken that bump, and it would have looked good. He made Kane.
Was that the choke slam on the apron?
It was.
I didn't mind everyone bumping for Kane and making him look good. I just don't think in 2021 Kane has any business eliminating Ricochet.
But I did not mind Kane's entry because number one, I was a big fan of Kane growing up.
Oh yeah, I don't mind Kane in the Rumble. It's just him eliminating Ricochet really rubbed me the wrong way.
And we got a Team Hell No spot.
That was pretty cool.
Love Team Hell No. They're great.
That was one of those moments where I was like, holy shit, I wish people were there.
Oh, could you imagine how big of a pop that would have gotten? Like,
yeah.
Oh.
And then Bryan ate a chokeslam for his good buddy Kane.
WWE's equivalent of a best friend's hug.
Yep. And then Damian, speaking of benefiting, Damian Priest was the one who tossed Kane. So,
which I liked.
Yep.
Which I very much liked.
There you go. That was one of the 4 that Kris noted Damian Priest eliminated in this match. Number 19, King Corbin groaned because he eliminated Nakamura.
Oh my God, I was so mad.
Number 20 is, shout out to Ren Geekness on YouTube, by the way. His pick was Shinsuke Nakamura going in, and lo and behold, King Corbin tosses him out, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm so sorry, Ren. I'm so sorry, Ren, if you're watching. But number 20, Otis. Did not last very long in this match at all.
No, and I'm
so disappointed.
Me too. Me too.
I'll be the first to admit, I am an Otis fan. I love Otis. He is a great character.
Yes, he is.
So Otis is that kind of guy that you can tell he does it, and it's not in a bad way. He'll work with anyone. He'll do anything. He doesn't care if it gets him over. If he's having a great time, if he's having fun doing it, he'll do it.
Oh yeah. And I think Otis has definitely is going to benefit from working with a guy like Daniel Bryan because you've seen him a lot backstage lately. Yeah, you've seen him a lot backstage lately. So again, just like Omos and AJ Styles, I don't think it's a bad idea to keep pairing Otis up with, the best wrestler in the world in Daniel Bryan.
Tomas is really going to hate me for this opinion, but the Otis and Gable team is really starting to grow on me a lot. The Alpha Academy, they're really starting. They're entertaining.
The gimmick is entertaining. I just don't see why they got to pair up Gable and Otis.
Well,
ditto.
Two tag team wrestlers, American Alpha and Heavy Machinery, and they're just paired together now. But number 21 is Dominic Mysterio in his very first Royal Rumble. Tosses out King Corbin. Thank you, Dominic. Number 22 is the U.S. champion Bobby Lashley, who launches Dominic Mysterio into another atmosphere. Here's another nitpick. They missed a huge opportunity to keep Dominic in the ring until his dad came out. I wanted so bad for Dominic to toss out his dad. That was a huge opportunity that they missed.
Okay. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah.
So, yes, I see where it's coming from. So I'm going to be honest. I'm not really. I see where people are coming from with this Dominic turning on his dad gimmick. I think it's way too early.
Well,
I would agree, but they have booked Dominic like absolute garbage since he debuted.
That's the thing, though.
This kid needs a win.
Okay, yes, he needs a win, but Dominic, in my opinion, and this, I'm not one to talk. I'm greener than grass, but like Dominic is still green, and you can see it in his work. He botches. Not all the time, but it's not tight. It's not WWE tight. And they're trying to keep him around because of his dad, and his dad is working him. You can see it. He has
My biggest
improved.
issue with Dominic is that he needs to work with more wrestlers. Who has he worked with since he's debuted?
Corbin.
Rollins, Murphy, Corbin.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it.
He tagged
needs
with
to start working with other wrestlers that can teach him a thing or two.
He tagged with Humberto Carrillo for a shot at tag titles, but not his dad yet, which makes no sense. But, I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. I think give Dominic like a year or two, and I think he's going to be really, really polished. But
oh yeah, and maybe he could benefit from working a match with his dad.
Yeah.
But again, I just want them to give Dominic a win.
I'm not saying like turn Dominic heel on Rey Mysterio. It'll be like, like Rey gets it. It's every man for himself, and Dominic tossed him out. It's like a friendly,
yeah, kind of like a hey, sorry, pops, but I want a world championship match too.
I want to win the Royal Rumble. Like Rey should know that better than anybody. So
yeah.
Anyway, number 23 is the fucking Hurricane, and I was like, really, again? But then I love Shane Helms. I love him to death. I'm glad he has a job with WWE. But he's one of those novelty acts of like, okay, we saw Hurricane like 2 years in a row. He's starting to turn into Goldust. Like, like there was a span of years where you knew Goldust was just going to randomly show up in the Rumble. That's what Hurricane is starting to turn into me. And I was like, I love Shane Helms. I love that WWE has a spot for him right now. He could easily be working in AEW with like his best friends, but he's in WWE. Yeah. Okay.
We know we like Hurricane. We love you, but don't wear out your welcome.
So
we know he's going to get eliminated.
Oh yeah, and I actually really got behind the Hurricane entry this year because they recreated the 2002 spot that Tomas and I talked about all those months ago on the channel.
Yeah,
I loved that. Big E and Bobby Lashley are about to get chokeslammed, but then they realize that they're in the ring with the fucking Hurricane, and they share a moment, and then they pick Hurricane up, and then they pitch him into the second row. It was great.
Also,
are you
Big
talking
E
about
and
the
Lashley
Kane Big Show spot?
That was the Triple H and Austin spot from 2002. Hurricane ran in the ring when both of them were down and out. He picks them both up with a choke slam, and then he looks like he's just about to do it. But then Austin and Hunter share a moment where they realize that the Hurricane is about to choke slam them. And then they sell how ridiculous it is, and then they pitch him out. They beat the shit out of him, and then they go right back to beating the shit out of each other. Mm-hmm. Great. Never gets old. I love it.
Big E and Bobby Lashley also had a very fun confrontation that just kind of showed off how badass they are.
IC champion versus US champion, by the way.
I do see this.
I didn't even take that into consideration.
But also, hear me out. And I have one from the women's match as well. Hear me out. Tag team. Mm-hmm. Lashley and Big E. That'd be ridiculous power. And for the women, Bianca Belair and Naomi.
Yes. Yeah. We actually left out the spot where they both almost got eliminated. Naomi lands on her butt and puts her feet in the air and then grabs onto Belair's ponytail and pulls herself up. And then they both look at each other. It's like, okay, how about we both help each other to get back into the ring, and then we can start fighting again. That was amazing.
That was completely on me. I missed that. That was a really creative spot.
It's
but Kofi Kingston's in neither Royal Rumble match, so you got to have those moments with new people. But
yeah, Naomi's the female equivalent of Kofi Kingston, so she has that covered.
Yeah.
Speaking of saves, sorry, I know we're getting off tangent, but like speaking of saves, John Morrison, who was already eliminated by this time in the Rumble, so before Kofi Kingston started doing the Royal Rumble saves,
it was
John Morrison started it. And I thought since Kofi was out, Morrison would do the save. But there was no save in the men's Rumble match.
But WWE doesn't like Morrison.
which sucks because Morrison is the fucking man, and he should be the fucking
Yeah,
man right now.
his wife is probably on her way to WWE right now, so they better start booking him a little better.
Yep. Speaking of people who I had no idea was going to be in this match, I marked out the hardest when number 24's music hit. It was fucking Christian, and I could not believe it.
I thought he was injured.
I thought
and couldn't wrestle.
He just pulled an Edge.
His music hit. Here's the thing. Since he's been on Raw the past year, I thought, you know what? It's only a matter of time until Christian comes back to the ring. It's going to happen. But when his music hit, it took a minute to register. And that's where I got a little choked up. And I just thought, this is why I love wrestling.
Good for Christian, man.
Who got concussed in 2014 and was told he could not wrestle anymore.
Yep.
Followed the advice of his best friend and got himself into shape so he could wrestle again. And again, it was just one of those moments where I was like, this is why I watch this shit, to see Christian come back.
I really hope that this is not a one-off for Christian because he looked phenomenal in this match. Edge was in tears as Christian was making his way to the ring.
I loved that spot where they panned over to Edge's face and he kind of like looked at Christian. He was surprised and then he smiled.
And Edge and Christian share the most emotional Royal Rumble moment since Edge's return himself last year. They share a hug in the middle of the ring, and there's fucking Riddle to ruin the moment. And I'm like, Riddle, I know you're a fan of these guys, but like, come on. But
Riddle didn't get eliminated after that, right?
No, Riddle was in there right at the end.
Yeah, Riddle was top 5. Well, top 6 if you want to be smart about it with Orton.
I think things are looking up for Riddle, man. With this showing, like I think he's getting up there.
Oh, I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to talk about Riddle because when he was on the Indies, I didn't like him. He didn't appeal to me. I kind of just looked at his gimmick and was like, okay, this looks stupid. Like we have enough MMA wrestlers in WWE right now. What's so special about Riddle? And then I saw that WWE signed him. I was like, okay, let's see what he does in NXT. And then he started growing on me as a wrestler. As a character, I still didn't get it. Then he came to the main roster. Then he came to Raw. And then I started seeing the stupid backstage vignettes. And I was like, they're going to ruin this guy. And then I found myself giggling at him. Then I found myself laughing at him. Then I found myself finding his backstage vignettes to be a guilty pleasure. And then he had that really fucking good match on Raw with Cedric Alexander. And I was just like, I love this guy.
Riddle is
one of my guys now. Yeah.
Riddle is going to be a world champion at some point within these next 5 years, I think. If not sooner.
Oh, yeah.
But
so that's my little thing on Riddle.
Number 25 is my favorite wrestler on the roster right now, AJ Styles. And I wrote down AJ versus Christian like it's 2007 TNA. I'm stuck in a time warp.
Can't wait for that eventual matchup.
Man. And he also redeemed himself from selling the spear to Edge. This time, he does not separate his shoulder.
No.
So me and Zack were talking about this. We were talking about Omos's role in the Royal Rumble.
Oh.
And they started doing it. But then they started doing something that made me upset.
Yeah.
We wanted Omos to make sure that Styles did not get eliminated in the Royal Rumble, which he did. But then Omos just grabs Big E and pulls him out of the ring. And I'm just like, me and Brittany look at each other and we go, what the fuck? Omos is not in the match. He should not be able to do that. And then he goes and does it to Rey Mysterio.
Who came out at 26.
And I'm just like, if Omos is going to be doing this, he needs to get ejected from ringside.
Yeah.
Because if Omos wanted to, he could clear the entire ring. I just don't think that's fair.
I was like, can AJ have some eliminations?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. AJ Styles, goose egg, 0 eliminations.
Yeah.
Almost had 2 eliminations.
Mm-hmm.
And to your note about he needs to be ejected.
No disqualification in a Royal Rumble.
No disqualification in a Rumble. That's why Shayna and Nia can go back into the ring and cause havoc.
Yeah.
It's no disqualification.
Even
There's
though
nothing they can do about it because the rule is there are no rules.
Yeah, but
good point. I just feel like if Omos wanted to, he could have cleared the ring by himself. And then you kind of look at it as like, wait, that's kind of cheating, don't you think?
It
Because
is.
Omos isn't even in the match.
I was like,
so I don't
at
know.
least
It kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
if Omos strictly was there to save AJ Styles from not hitting both feet on the floor after going over the top rope, of course, because those are the rules of the Rumble, like that would have been fine. But when you start having him taking eliminations away from the best wrestler on the planet, that's where I have a problem.
And it's just Big E was doing so well in the match. I'm kind of upset
30
that he got eliminated.
They just snuffed him.
Yeah.
They just snuffed him when they pulled him out of the ring. Just like, and you're done. All right, cool.
It's kind of like Corporate Kane waiting there to eliminate CM Punk 2014.
You guys remember when Big E was...
Again, I think that's why it rubbed me the... Yeah.
Before I move on, you guys remember when Big E was the favorite to win this match? Yeah, but
yes,
anyway. I do remember that. And at least Big E is at least going to go into Mania with the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, there's that for sure. Number 27 is Sheamus, and then right after at 28 is Cesaro. And we get not only a Team Hell No reunion, we get the reunion of the Bar, which lasts for about 10 seconds or
Less
so.
Time than Hell No.
Because Cesaro swings
I thought
Sheamus.
It was cool because it... Yeah.
Like,
and then he swings Daniel Bryan.
He does for a long fucking time. I don't think Cesaro was playing with a full deck.
Can I just say I really like how well Daniel Bryan has been selling for everyone lately.
Yeah.
Because he had a very nice exchange with Ricochet, and it made me realize that we've never seen Daniel Bryan versus Ricochet. That would be amazing.
Yeah, okay, so to your point, he put over Cesaro clean as a whistle on SmackDown. He had some exchanges with Ricochet. I would like that for a half-hour clinic. I would love for a 30-minute slugfest between him and Matt Riddle. That's what I want. Matt Riddle.
Oh, yeah. Brian Riddle would be great. And remember, I will never forget this. Shinsuke Nakamura says he wants to wrestle Daniel Bryan before he retires.
Yeah.
So if WWE never gives us...
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, sorry to the viewers. We're having some connection issues right here. Almost.
Oh no, it's okay. I saw it flickering. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for it to come back.
It's all good. It's all good. Number 29 is Seth fucking Rollins. Because Vince McMahon.
I'm happy he's back.
That took me by surprise.
Me too. Vince McMahon laughs in the face of paternity leave. Seth Rollins is back like a month after his daughter is born. So he comes in, and I write down what an ending field, because number 30 is Braun Strowman in the best shape of his life. I really enjoy all these people that were at the end. I don't know how this happened. So Braun tossed Cesaro first, I think. Not sure.
Are we past the point where they all ganged up on Lashley and got rid of him?
Yes. Yeah, that was when Christian came in.
Oh, that was because I wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
That made Lashley look strong as a motherfucker. The fact that everyone had to gang up on him.
Hold on. Ready? Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Riddle, Christian, Bryan, and I can't read my own fucking handwriting.
Edge, number 1.
Edge. Yes, Edge. Thank you. Edge.
Yeah.
My first E looked like a B. Yes. So Edge, Riddle, Christian, and Bryan to take Lashley out.
Yes.
Which I think that just made him look so fucking strong.
It was great. Lashley, United States champion. He should be booked like a monster. But yeah. Braun tosses Cesaro. He gives a rough ouster of Sheamus, and then he tosses out AJ Styles right after that. And I wrote bullshit.
No, not bullshit. Because first of all, he's been fucking cheating the entire match with promos, and I thought it was very smart of Strowman to go to toss him out. He saw that Omos was going to stop him. So he immediately went to the other side of the ring and
pivot.
Like, nope, you're not going to stop him. You're not going to stop him.
He pivots like Ross Geller, and he tosses AJ out of the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So 2 things that I would love to see.
Too sweet.
Ha 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 ha. Okay. Two things I would love to see. One, Strowman and Omos.
Oh,
I want to
yes.
see it.
Not too soon though.
No, not too soon, but like some point.
Yeah, maybe
They are
Omos enters next year.
they are the two biggest guys in the main roster right now.
Hmm.
I need to see this match. And second, yes, next year's Rumble. Since Almost insists on getting involved and eliminating people without even being in it, I would love to see next year, if Almost and AJ are still together, AJ get eliminated, and then right after, like the next entrance is Almost. And he just
Yeah.
hops up in the ring.
I don't know.
I would love
man.
to see that. That would be hilarious.
But
And on a unrelated note, I'm sure Zack was expecting this too. I wanted Samoa Joe to just throw down his headset and his music
Yeah.
to hit, and
I'm
for him
so
to say, "Hey boys,
sad.
I'm back."
I'm so
Yeah.
sad he
But
didn't
you know
get
what?
it.
You know what? I think the surprise entrance we got. I think maybe if you subbed out Samoa Joe with the Hurricane, like I think it would have been
Yes.
a pretty.
Oh yeah,
Like
I'm
you know,
fine with Christian and Carlito though.
I'm more than fine with Christian and Carlito for sure. But yeah, man, we do get Matt Riddle and Daniel Bryan tearing it up for a little bit. They are chopping the shit out of each other, and I think that was the point where I was like, "Give me these guys for 30 minutes, like just see what they can do." I'm sure Bryan would be more than willing to put Matt Riddle over too. You know, he puts over everybody, I guess now. He's like the next Chris Jericho, putting everybody over.
Yeah.
But it's weird because after this exchange, Seth Rollins, who is outside the ring, sneaks up behind Daniel Bryan and eliminates him from the Royal Rumble match. I'm like, at that moment, Daniel Bryan was probably all of our picks, but at that moment, I was like, Edge is winning. Edge is winning.
I wanted to be mad, but I couldn't. Because if anyone was going to eliminate Daniel Bryan, I'm glad it was Seth Rollins. See, WWE, that's how you eliminate a guy like Daniel Bryan. I know Bray Wyatt was all of our favorites, but you don't do it the way you did it in 2015. You don't include him in the match at all. This was probably the best way. This is probably the easiest pill to swallow when it came to Daniel Bryan not winning the Royal Rumble.
I'd like to see
I'd
like to see Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania myself.
And if it leads to that, I will gladly take that match.
Me too. I don't know when I think Riddle was tossed at this point, yeah? Was it Seth?
Rollins curb stomped him too, right?
Yeah,
on the apron. On the apron.
That's right. It was a callback to when Seth won the Rumble. It was a curb stomp to Riddle.
Talk about a spot in the ring you don't want to take a curb stop on.
No.
The apron.
No. Props to
you don't want to take anything on the apron. The apron is the hardest part of the ring.
Kevin Owens even says he regrets introducing the powerbomb on the ring apron because he knows it fucking hurts.
Yeah. But that leaves us with the supposed final four of Rollins and Strowman and Edge and Christian.
And that was interesting. At that point, I was wondering, like, Edge is the only person that makes sense because nothing against Strowman. I just don't think he's in position to win the Rumble this year.
No.
Neither with Christian, and I would have gone with Rollins, but he just won it 2 years ago. So Edge was the only person that...
with no momentum, and Edge, who with one promo had so much momentum going into this.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Edge is the fucking man, dude. So basically what happens is I think they all team up on Braun Strowman. I was like, Edge and Christian are going to eliminate Braun. Heck yeah. But then Seth, the sneaky little dickhead, sneaks up from behind, tosses Christian over the top rope to the floor. Braun goes with him. Supposedly it's Edge and Seth Rollins left in the ring, but
now talk about a mini match. I wish they would have given us with that.
Yeah,
Edge and Rollins.
That's another thing. This ending whizzed on by. Like it was like Kris and I were talking about this before we started recording, I think 2 hours ago at this point, but no matter, Royal Rumble, but ending whizzed on by.
We went from Final 5 to a winner in like
a minute,
a 30-40 second span.
Yeah, because Edge tosses Rollins, and then Randy Orton comes back because he was never eliminated, remember, which I fucking hate that he wasn't in the ring for that long.
Dude, Randy Orton getting the freaking night off. Just like, yeah, let me just throw some RKOs, get hurt, miss the
Well-
whole Rumble, and come back for the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
At least he didn't win, because when I realized that Orton was still in it, I thought, no, okay, you know what? I know they kind of want Orton to tie Stone Cold Steve Austin, but no, not this year,
way.
please. Not this year, please. Because here's the thing. I took Orton winning in 2017 as a consolation prize because I didn't want Roman Reigns to win. But this time I was like, oh, no, guys, this isn't the year. This is not the year. Even though he's the hottest heel in WWE right now, I didn't want to see him win.
No,
So
because he is going to be busy with the Fiend at WrestleMania, I'm assuming, and that's another thing. A lot of people like me were wanting the Fiend to at least distract Randy Orton, or like the presence of the Fiend, because remember he was burnt to a crisp last month. But I'm kind of glad the Fiend didn't show up in hindsight, because
Me too.
it would have taken away from this historic moment of Edge going the distance from number one and winning the whole thing. And that's what's happened. Edge won the Rumble for the second time in his career from number one. I don't like mentioning his name, like, unless he's on the card, but for historic purposes, it's for the first time a number one entrant has gone the distance and won since Chris Benoit did it in 2004.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And then for historical purposes, Shawn Michaels did it as well. So Edge is number 3.
He did. Yes. Yeah. Edge is number 3.
Was Mysterio number 2 when he did it?
He was
number 2. Yeah. Yeah. So he didn't surpass Chris Benoit or Rey Mysterio's records when they won. Edge went 58 minutes and 30 seconds, according to Wikipedia. But he's going to WrestleMania, man. I was tearing up. I'm not going to lie.
It was a very feel-good moment. And
yes.
I really liked the shot of Edge just laying in the middle of the ring and the WrestleMania sign right above him.
Oh, he was spent, man.
And Fox Sports put the best headline up. They said he's one step closer to winning back what he never lost.
Yeah.
And remember, that's the story he's telling, that he never lost the world championship, and now he wants to win it back.
Yeah, Tomas really wants Edge to face Drew McIntyre, but
Me too.
I would love that. But for this story they're telling with Edge, him versus Roman Reigns makes a lot more sense to me. And apparently that is like the only match that's been locked in for WrestleMania is Roman Reigns' match. So I'm assuming they knew that Edge was winning the Rumble. So probably putting them together in a fantasy match, which I'm all for. If Edge is the one that takes the title off the Tribal Chief.
Sorry to break this up. I'm going to go dark for a second, but you're still going to hear my voice. Just wanted to let you know before I did this.
All good, man.
Okay.
But yeah, Kris, final thoughts on the Men's Rumble.
I liked it. I did. I thought it was slightly better than the Women's Rumble. Not obvious better, but definitely slightly better.
Yeah.
I like the entrances, or I like the entries. The some of them I could have seen other people. Like, I would have liked Samoa Joe in the match. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Edge winning. I'm good on him for winning, but honestly, I could have seen a whole lot of other guys going over him for this match. Like,
2 off the top of my head, I would definitely say Daniel Bryan and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Zach, you and I have been talking about this match for like, 3 weeks, a month now or so, and you've been asking me who's my pick like every time we talk.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I've given you the same answer. Like, I had no idea going into this. There were multiple guys and women for the Women's Rumble. There were multiple wrestlers with all sorts of momentum from different angles, different storylines, different ways of coming at it. This was like the first first Rumble match. I had no idea. Usually I can narrow it down to like 4 or 5. Like, yes, okay, these are my 4 or 5 guesses.
Mm-hmm.
I had at least a dozen for both. I could not see an outcome for any of these. Yes, I saw Edge as a likely winner. Would he have been my first pick? No, but good on him. He won. He was one of the options.
Mm.
But I had no idea who was going to come out on top.
Yeah.
I like what they did. I had moments that I didn't like what they did. It was a good showing. If I had to give this match, if I had to give the men's Royal Rumble match a number, 8.5 to 9.
Yeah, I think I would give this like a 4.25, 4.5. It's one of my, honestly, it might be one of my favorite Rumbles. The more and more I think about it, that story of Edge going the distance is incredible. Similar to the Chris Benoit Rumble, of course, but like overall, I don't think this was as good of a story that was told as last year's Rumble was in hindsight. Because the first half of the match, you remember, it was Brock dismantling every single person that came in, and then Drew McIntyre was made to look like a star, Claymoring Brock Lesnar's ass over. But I think it was a lot more like, I don't want to say inconsistent, but I definitely think it could have been a lot more of a consistent story like last year's was. But yeah, 2 thumbs up for sure. Tomas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. What would you give this men's Rumble match?
I would definitely give this men's Rumble match, again, 2 thumbs up. It's hard for me to rate Royal Rumble matches based on, a star rating, because I tend to look at every single Royal Rumble and I always think of it as, did I have fun watching it? Were there good surprises? Did I overall have a good time watching the match? And I would say yes. With Edge winning, it was definitely a surprise because, I said, we didn't know that Edge was going to be in this Royal Rumble until less than a week ago. It was confirmed that Edge was going to be in this Royal Rumble. I'm definitely happy, and I'm happy to see what they do with Edge going forward. But again, my pick was Daniel Bryan, and after the fact he was eliminated, I didn't really have my heart set on anybody else.
No, I agree with you, man. But I mean, hey, I'm happy for Edge. It was a great moment, historic, in the looking at the trajectory of the Royal Rumble, not the trajectory. It's been 2 hours, folks. Thank you all for bearing with us, but 2 thumbs up for this Royal Rumble for sure. But yeah, friends, it is getting late over here, so I think this is where I'll wrap up this little pod. I hope you all enjoyed it. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you've stayed this entire time. Thank you all so much. Celebrate by hitting that big red button. Thumbs up on your way out. Definitely expect a lot more wrestling talk over this next month because we got TakeOver. We got presumably Elimination Chamber is my guess. Much more to come. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed the Royal Rumble. With all that being said, thank you to Kris and Tomas once again for joining me. Back Talk commence.